Well, good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. Welcome. Okay. So if you could get into the chat, which is on the bottom row there where you have your mute and unmute button and things like that, and put your name in the chat. That is how we will keep track of attendance, okay? So if you put your name in the chat.
You're working hard. Get up. How difficult is this exercise for you? Just right. Do it with
Good morning, Miss Lacy.
the same.
Good morning.
Thought you'd sneak in there, huh?
I did. How'd you know? Just making sure everybody's okay. Then I'll sneak right out.
That's okay. I have a question for last night, but I'll call you later.
Okay, just call me.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. We're so happy you're here.
Those of you who have problems logging into Canvas, we will go over logging into Canvas here in a few minutes, so please don't worry about it. We'll get it straight.
Good morning, Professor Novak.
Good morning, Professor Dolph. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good morning, Professor Kaplan.
Good morning. I just chatted you. Hello.
Yes,
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Ready to get this going.
Mhm.
Well, we got a few more people to get here.
I got your message, Professor Kaplan. Thank you.
Okay, Okay, so before we get started, if everybody could turn their cameras on so we can see your bright shining faces this morning, that would be great. We need to have your cameras on during class. You all look so nice.
It's good to see all of you.
See some sportive scrubs out there. That's nice. And if you have your bingo card that we gave you with your books, it's time to pull that out too. If you didn't get a card with your books, it is in announcements in Canvas, if you can get in there. If you're locked out of Canvas, let me know and I'll put it in the chat. PNR 104 AM, who are you? You have a name?
You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I got it to work. I was struggling over here.
Yeah. Whoever's logged in is PNR 104 AM. Can we have your name, please? Hi, Kaylee. You can change your name. I believe you can change it with the login. But right now, as long as I know who you are, we're good. We'll get it worked out. If you go into participants and click on the PNR 104 AM name, you can rename yourself. That's how you do it. Okay, bingo cards were passed out with the books. They should be bright yellow, orange, or green, maybe a purple one here and there. If not, they are in the announcements on Canvas. It's okay. I'm glad that, you know, you come in muted. That's a good thing.
Is it this one?
Which one? Hold it up. Yes. Gady? Yes, that one. Gady, did you work at Westerville? I recognize that name. There couldn't be two Gadys out in the world. I know that. Welcome to Fortis. Yes, according to Professor Kaplan's little chat there is very, very, very pertinent, because even we get frustrated with Canvas and Zoom and all these things that go on the first week. So everybody take a deep breath. We will get it all together, and I promise you it'll get much better after we get through today. Okay? All right, let me see if I can put the bingo card in the chat. There it is. Okay. Okay, I downloaded the bingo card into the chat, so if you didn't get one or you can't find it, it's there. So what we're doing with the bingo card is as we are going through this introduction and all the little ins and outs of going to nursing school, when you hear something that's on your card, mark it off. If you get a straight line up, down, or diagonally, call out bingo or put bingo in the chat. those of you who call out bingo or tell me you have bingo, and we can have multiple winners, will receive a free pass for homework assignment, for one homework assignment, okay? I will send you the free pass, and then the weeks you decide to use it, the 1 week you decide to use it, you may upload that to your homework box instead of getting your NCLEX in on time or your math or whatever, okay? So yes, the game is starting right now. So show of hands. How many people are excited to be here today? Most of you, okay. That's good, I'm excited you're here. And I know Professor Kaplan and Professor Dolph are also excited. So let's pull this up here. Yeah. So I am going to share my screen now, and we're going to get through our welcome PowerPoint. There we go. So, welcome to PNR 104. Does everybody see the PowerPoint on their screen?
Yes.
Shake your head, say yes, whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So, all right. So we're going to start with your professors. I am Professor Novak, or Mrs. Novak. I have been teaching here at Fortis for about 7 years now. I'm going on 8, I think. And I have a background. I started off in elementary education, special ed, and then went to nursing school and got my BSN in '94 from Mount Carmel College. After that, I started working at a skilled long-term care rehab facility in Columbus and fell in love with skilled nursing. The fact that I learned everything I could about taking care of patients and post-op patients and post-stroke patients and dialysis patients and respiratory patients in that one unit. And I got to know my patients because they weren't flying out the door in 3 days. So yes, that was a great experience. So I stayed in long-term care for quite a while, well, probably 20 years or so. I did, I was a floor nurse, I was a charge nurse, I was a supervisor. I became an assistant director of nursing. I became a director of nursing in 3 or 4 different facilities here in Columbus. So I may have worked with some of you. You know, if I look familiar, that's probably why. All right. So we also have Professor Kaplan and Professor Dolph with us. Professor Kaplan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. I think it's nice that you guys have Professor Novak mostly the first day. She's super calm. I'm super like, yeah. So I'm a little bit ready to go. I get excited about this stuff. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to PNR 104. I've been teaching this course since I started in Fortis a long time ago. So I love this class. This is my baby. We are really passionate about helping get you guys oriented to, you know, Fortis and nursing as a profession, and just, you know, getting you guys in touch with your professional selves. I can promise you, you won't be the same that you are today at the end of these 12 weeks. Every single one of you will change and grow, and it'll be amazing. But growing, you know, they say growing pains for a reason, right? It's going to be a lot of work, but we try to make it as fun as possible. Professor Novak and Professor Dolph are great at kind of helping this material come alive. So we just are really happy to have you. If you need anything, we have lots of support. We're going to have weekly review meetings on campus. So if you feel like, you know, you just really want to get a better grasp of the content, or you want to see how well of a grasp you have for the content in order to prepare for exams or quizzes, you know, we welcome you to come. We have prizes, and we're just super excited for everything that's to come this quarter. Welcome. and I will introduce Professor Dolph.
Debbie, you're muted.
Yeah, it helps if I get off mute. Welcome to PNR 104. I'm excited to be part of the team, and I'm excited that you are here with us at Fortis. I've been at Fortis for almost 2 years now, and I'm happy to be with Professor Novak and Professor Kaplan. I think we're going to be a great team and a great support to you. And we have a lot of fun things planned to help you learn. And the one thing you need to know is we are here to support you, but you need to be sure that you ask for help. Because if you don't ask, we don't know that you need help. So please make sure that if you have a question or if you need help, that you come to one of us so that we can help you. And if you're getting lost or if you don't understand a concept, come to us early so that we can catch your problems early so that we can help you so that you'll understand the material. And we're glad that they're in our class.
Okay. So you guys have a great team here. We call this the A team for this class. It's amazing what we can get accomplished. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Fortis values. The first value we have here at Fortis is integrity, and I'm sure you heard about this during orientation, but I really want to reinforce this information. What is integrity? Anybody have a clue?
The
We don't have to talk to
commitment,
it. Say again.
commitment, promise.
Honest, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, being honest when no one's around.
Right. Being honest when no one's around. When no one's watching, you're still doing the right thing, right? So that means that as a nurse, you have to have integrity. In fact, we know that nurses have the highest value out there from the public on being the most profession with integrity. It means that we don't hide things that happen. We, take responsibility for that. In school, it means we do our own work. We don't pop off onto Google to get answers to quizzes and tests. We don't copy somebody else's work. We do not submit the same NCLEX question set of NCLEX questions every week, because I do check that. Once you do it, that's fine. Then the next week you do another set. It should not be exactly the same as the one you gave me the week before. Okay, these are integrity issues. We hold integrity very, very, very highly in this building, and it is probably the thing that'll get you removed from nursing school the fastest is a lack of integrity. Student-focused outcomes. Our outcomes are very important to us. And what is our outcome? What is the very end? What is what we hope for every single one of you?
For us to pass the
As the NCLEX.
Pass the NCLEX,
Pass the
yes.
NCLEX.
That is our outcome, okay? Along the way, we got to make sure that you pass all these classes. But the end goal is passing the NCLEX, okay? We are here to support you. We are here to help you through anything to get you through nursing school. Nursing school is a hard journey, very hard journey. And what you have to understand is you're not alone in this journey. We are all in this together. You, Professor Dolph, Professor Kaplan, and myself, your deans, your academic coaches, everybody is on this journey with you. So never feel like you're totally alone. Commitment, that is our commitment to you, that you know that we are with you, that we will get you through as best we can. Service excellence, meaning as both student and instructor, we do expect things to be done in the Columbus Fortis way. And if you were in orientation and you heard Mr. Gibbs talk, we are Team Columbus and we are very proud of that. So we want to keep that up. And then respect is respect for, the instructors have respect for you. We expect you to show us respect also. That's why we use the professor or Mrs. or Ms. name before our names. You know, we are friendly, we will be helpful, but we are not your buddies. Okay. And then you need to respect each other. Okay. When you come into Zoom, you'll be muted so that we can keep the extra chatter down. If you have something to say, you can put it in the chat, or it is, or, you know, raise your hand or give us some indication that you need to talk, and then you can unmute yourself and we can answer your questions. We can't have everybody talking at one time in order to keep some chaos down, because there are quite a few of you here, okay? You need to respect your instructors. You need to respect your deans, anybody you come in contact with. When you go to clinical, you're going to be respecting them. And, you know, those people out in clinical, we cannot control what they respect you with, but we can control how we respect them. So those are our core values here at Fortis: integrity, focused outcomes, commitment, service excellence, and response. So class time, your class time is down here, okay? Your class, your didactic class is Tuesdays, 9 a.m. to 12:20, every Tuesday. And then our lab will be you will either be in the Tuesday lab from 1 to 5 or the Thursday lab from 10 to 2. You are not in both labs. So hopefully they're still trying to even out the lab groups, and you will be notified very shortly on your schedule which one you're in. So, but there are 2 different labs. You have to go to the one you're scheduled for. We have A, B, and C are day labs. So you should be in one of those. When you look at your schedule, it should say lab PNR 104 L-A or B or C. Okay. So there will be more information. We do not have lab this week, so we have a whole week to figure that out. All right. But those are the days that lab is.
So because the times that you said, like I'm at work during those times, do we have labs like later in the evening?
No. We'll talk outside of class, but no, these are times that you're expected to be here. Okay?
Okay.
You cannot switch class times without permission from the dean. You know, there's a lot of moving parts to keep track of here. And if we're switching class or lab times, then we might have too many people in one lab and not enough in another. If you switch, it will be for the rest of the quarter. And please only attend the class that you are scheduled for. If you're attending a different class, you're going to be counted absent in the class that you were supposed to be in. And why is that important? Because we have a 20% rule. Okay, the 20% rule is if you miss 20% of class or lab, you may be removed from the class. Okay, these are unexcused absences we're talking about, not excused absences. And if you were in orientation, you understand that there are very few reasons to be excused from lab or sim or clinical, right? Does anybody remember what Dr. Cherry said?
Unless you're dead.
Unless you're dead. Yes, that's it. That is exactly the right answer. Okay. No, I mean, if you're in the hospital, if you're really sick, if there's a death in your family, we will need documentation of that. You will need to give us documentation for it to be counted as excused. And we have to have that documentation within the week that you missed. But if it is unexcused absence, and unexcused absences are, I overslept, you know, I had to work, I have to go to orientation, those kind of things, those are not excused absences. You need to block out these times for yourself, because this is your time. You're the one that wanted to that came to nursing school, right? You're the one that want to make a change in your life. This is your time now, okay? So tell everybody else, I'm sorry, I'm in class right now. And that's how we deal with this, okay? Be on time, because you want to be on time, because we do have quizzes like the first thing in class. If you miss a quiz, if you're more than 5 minutes late, you will not be logged in while we're taking a quiz. And if you miss the quiz, there is no makeup for quizzes. So please, be on time means to be early, okay? And ready to go when the bell rings at 9 a.m. And again, do not miss labs. If you do miss labs, you need to make them up within a week, okay? Because the Board of Nursing says that we have to report every hour you are in lab, okay? And that has to match what's on the syllabus. You guys need 40 hours of lab. If you miss a 4-hour lab, you will be making up a 4-hour lab somewhere else during that week. Now, we have enough trouble getting to one class, right, and one lab. Could you imagine having to add another 4 hours into your schedule because you missed lab, right? So let's do everything we can not to miss lab.
Quickly, Professor Novak, is it possible to have a bingo yet?
It's possible.
I do have a bingo. Congratulations, Muna.
Very good, Muna. Okay. So when you're here, we need you to really attend. Really attend.
Okay, because I'll get one of those things.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Oh, y'all not. She's so so y'all not doing the movie now.
Does somebody need to mute?
Professor Novak, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a subpoena to go to court on October 22nd.
That would be an excused absence if you bring us documentation from the court.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So when you're here, we really want you to be here. Okay. This is your time. All right. This time is set aside for you. You need to turn on your camera. You need to be ready to go. Do not attend from a moving car. It's very hard to pay attention to the highway and me at the same time. And we know that I am more important, right? So do not attend from a moving car. Please do not attend class from bed. You should be up, dressed, and in a professional manner. And do not schedule vacations during the term. Week 12 is still a class week. Now this term, week 12 happens to be the week of Christmas. Please do not schedule leaving town to go visit your family on December 22nd. Okay, we need to be here for the whole 12 weeks. Artivia, you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. I am in the moving car right now because I have 2 cancer appointments with my lung cancer doctor and my breast cancer doctor. So today I kind of don't have a choice because I need to be these appointments. So that's the only reason why I'm in the car right now.
Okay, so next week you will be all set and you will be here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that. Thank you for telling us. Okay, so any other questions about being here, being on time, being ready, focusing on nursing school? Because this is 15 months out of your life that will make your life better in the end. Okay, it sounds like a long time now, but it's very, very short. It flies by, which is one of the reasons why we need to make an effort to be here, be on time, and do our work. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing here because we're going to go into Canvas. Okay, so who had the bingo? Muna, you had the bingo? What terms did you check off? Kaylee wants to know.
Okay, so Professor Kaplan, don't miss the lab. And Clark's question, be on time, sign into chat. Professor Dolphin. Is it Dolph? I don't know how to say that. Sorry.
That's okay. The rest of you can continue playing because all of you who put in the chat that you have bingo, you will get your homework passed too. All right?
Oh my.
Oh yeah. All right, so let's turn
Did everyone hear that? Put your bingo in the chat when you get it, because you'll get a homework pass too. You guys, thank you, Professor Novak.
You are welcome. All right, so let's see if I can do this without screwing it up again today. All right, so we're going back to share screen. And that's not what I want. Need to escape from there. Try this again. This thing just does not want to go away. Okay. Ta-da. All right, so we're going to start with some Canvas helpful hints and Canvas support. Those of you who are in Canvas, all your help and your navigation and everything you need is in your student resources. So if you go to modules, student resources, okay, and right on top, Canvas resources. And the Canvas helpful tips are what we're going to be looking at right now. So those of you who are having trouble getting into Canvas, there's also a video in here. Once you get in, you can see all the bells and whistles of Canvas you can use. Did you all get an email to join your Canvas course? Okay, so all right, when you come into Canvas, you need to have an account before you can log in. So you open up your Canvas account with your email, your student email from Fortis. Okay, then you hit forgot password. That will take you to a screen to let you into Canvas and reset your password. Okay, so you go in here, you put your email, your Fortis email, your my.fortis.edu email, and then hit forgot password, and it will take you to a screen to get logged in. All right, and then you will be ready to go. Okay. Back here. Those of you who have trouble getting into Canvas, have you been in Canvas and now locked out, or you never got into Canvas? Felita?
Something that they didn't tell us was that you had to like activate your Fortis email through Google, because if you don't, it doesn't pop up on like the My Campus link messages. It won't pop up in there. It only pops up if you register it through Google.
Okay. So you need to be in your My Fortis email. Register it with Google for your Gmail. It'll pop up on your Gmail. Okay. And then register for Canvas.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound stupid, but I don't know my Fortis email.
Your Fortis email should be your first name, last name, at my.fortis.edu.
At my.fortis.edu.
Professor Novak, there are several people that said that they got in last night, but now they can't. Do they need to change their passwords, or
They shouldn't have to.
I've got 1, 2, I've got 3 or 4 on here. So those of you who were in last night, but now you can't, make sure you try logging in with your Fortis email and your Fortis email password. And then if that doesn't work, maybe just change your password and see if that'll help.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm in Canvas, but with my personal email, can I change it to the Fortis email?
As long as you're in, just
stay in.
Yeah, just stay in. If you're in, stay in. Don't go anywhere,
Yeah,
okay?
because I don't have a problem getting in. I'm in there, and but yeah, it's the email that I had set up specifically to get messages and links and stuff from you guys until we got this Fortis email.
Yeah.
I got an email that Dr. Cherry sent out with the click pathway to set up your Fortis email. So if anybody needs that click pathway to set up their Fortis email, put your name and your email address in the chat and I'll forward it to you, okay? If you're having trouble setting up your Fortis email. And the rest of you, if you can't get into Canvas, you know, by the time we get going with this, which I think will be shortly, just listen, just try to relax and listen and follow along and maybe take some notes, okay? We understand that there will be issues this first week, these first couple days, okay? We'll work with you to get it worked out, I promise. So nobody needs to be panicked that they're missing anything or, you know, they're gonna fail. It's not that serious yet. We'll get you guys all set, okay? All right, thanks.
All right, so this is, when you come into Canvas, this is your home page. And you should be getting into PNR 104 AM. That is your class page, okay? You may also have another shell that is GPNR 104 Columbus, or 104L for lab, and then a dash and a letter. That is your lab shell. There could be another shell out there, begins with a B. I don't have that shell and I have to work on that today. So please just use the PNR 104 AM shell and the lab shell right now.
I got 3 different shells
Right.
for PNR 104.
Right, you have the AM shell,
Yeah.
the lab shell, the PNR 104L dash whatever letter. And then there's another one out there that looks like a PNR 104 shell. It's got a longer name. That's
Yeah.
the one we want to avoid right now.
Okay.
Okay, so let's not get into that today. It was last night that was causing a lot of confusion. So here on the side is, on the left side is your roadmap, okay? Home, announcements, we want to go to, every time you come into Canvas, you want to check your announcements because we put important things in there. So there are 2 announcements. This one has the Zoom link for your classes, and your Zoom link for your class and your lab will be the same, okay? And then, yes?
I'm sorry. So when we get into Canvas and we go to announcements and we get these, this is how we get into Zoom like today?
Yes.
Okay, because it took me about 45 minutes and I was going back and forth with somebody text messaging. I almost didn't make it in time.
Oh my.
It was kind of, yeah, I've been trying since like 8:15.
I appreciate your dedication. 45 minutes is a long time. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, so it's really that simple. Just go into announcements and then
Yeah,
go in the link.
Go into your link for this one down here. It says register. I need you to register every week so I get a list. Okay, who's here?
Okay.
But yes. All right.
Great, thank you.
After announcements, you see the syllabus tab. All right. Your syllabus is your roadmap to this class. It tells you what we are going to expect. It tells you when your tests are, what your homework assignments are, when they're due. Okay, it tells you what our course objectives are. This is your roadmap. And a lot of times you may have a question and you ask us a question and we may just say, go look at your syllabus, okay? Because you have to learn to use this document. So this is your course description for this course. And we will be talking about safety, quality improvement, Joint Commission safety goals, the foundation for nursing interventions, medical terminology, and math in this class, okay? We are going to have 98 total contact hours. 40 of those are going to be lab. Here are the outcomes we're looking for in this class, okay? Safe patient care with a focus on quality improvement, demonstrating competency within your LPN scope of practice for the first class, okay? We're not going to expect you to be able to do things that nurse practitioners can do yet, but we are going to build on our foundation from this class as you go into every other class. So don't leave this class and dump it all in the trash and think you're never going to need it again. You are going to need this information the rest of your life, okay? That's how important this class is. Learn how to do interpersonal and therapeutic relations, demonstrate competency in the nursing process and critical thinking, communicate effectively with members of the healthcare team, talk about promoting health and wellness, okay, because our job is not only to get them better, it's to keep them better. Using our nursing science knowledge to collaborate with other people and using evidence-based practice. And then self-evaluation, reflection, and ongoing learning. You know, the best thing you can do is have self-reflect on what we've learned and why we've learned it, and that kind of gets it into your heart and soul better, okay? This is not just a you know, get the information, dump it on the test, and then go away, okay? How is all this connected? What is this going to mean to me when I am a nurse standing at a bedside looking at a patient? Okay, that's what we're trying to get to here. Course objectives are here, and remember they are heavy in the math and administration of medications, documentation, nursing process, all of that. So your resources. You have textbooks. Let me get through my bag here. Your first textbook is your foundations book. That is this book here. You have two books that look like this, okay? This book is your textbook. It's the fat one, all right? The other book you got with this is your study guide for this book. So that means that as you're reading the text, as you're going through the text, you look at the study guide at the same time. It helps you pull things out of the text that you need to know. Okay? So you're going to use both of those at the same time while you're studying. You also got a HESI Comprehensive Review for the PN exam. That book you're going to use through your entire nursing school career and probably later. All right? A nursing diagnosis handbook. You got an orange and white card for the PNR simulation learning system, which we will talk about at another time. Your Calculate with Confidence is your pink book. I did class from home last night, so things are a little discombobulated.
This is the HESI review book. You guys want to dip into that?
Yes. This is your Calculate with Confidence, your pink book. This is your math book. We will be doing a lot of math, and you will be in this book a lot. And the final book that we're going to use a lot is your Clinical Skills book, the Perry and Potter, we call it. Okay. This has all your lab skills in it. So, and then you also have your Saunders Comprehensive Review Book for the NCLEX PN examination. Mine happens to be orange, but yours is green now. Ms. Kaplan, do you have that book handy?
I have the old one too. Mine is here.
I have mine.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't
Shila's
mind
got it up.
orange.
Yes,
That's the John has the correct one. But
yes.
yeah. So you
Okay.
need, guys, you'll need the code inside the front cover of this. Okay, so just take note of that.
Because that's the book, when we get into our resources on Canvas, that's where your NCLEX questions are going to come from. Okay? So. We also have some materials that are LRC type materials that you can get a hold of. All right, so this is what everybody wants to know. How are we going to get graded in this class, right? So we will go through this and then we will take a quick break. All right, so you need to have 78% on your tests and quizzes to pass this class. Your homework, while it is very, very important, will not count until the end of the term when we add it in after you have received 78% on all your tests and quizzes. All right, so unit exams, quizzes, comprehensive final for calculation and comprehensive exam are the only things that are going to count in your grade right now. Okay, so why do I need to do my homework right now? It's not going to count, right? Well, this is 85% of your grade. When we turn on the homework and add it into your grade, that's 15% of your grade you will lose if you do not have your homework turned in. So if you are sitting at a 78 and don't do your homework, your grade will drop by 15%. And I've had that happen to many students. They didn't see the purpose in doing homework. And then they're like, well, I had an 80 in your class. Well, yeah, you had an 80 in the class until we added the other 15%. And then mathematically, you get yourself eliminated. So homework needs to be done. It needs to be turned in on time in order to count. We are not accepting late homework. This is part of learning how to be in nursing school. All right, that's also another objective of mine in this class, is to teach you how to be a nursing school student. Okay, instructors are going to expect you to get your work done and get it done on time, and so we're going to start right now. Okay, so your unit exams, there's going to be 4 of them. These will be on a program called ExamSoft, and they will be a combination of multiple choice, short answer, and math. In order to take your exams, ExamSoft is going to lock down your browser. That means that you cannot use Zoom at the same time you take your exam. So you're going to need a separate electronic device to put Zoom on so that we can see you taking the test, because we have to proctor you taking the test. So you will have your computer or your laptop with your exam on it, and then we need another device that is pointed towards you and your computer so we can see you actually taking the test. Unfortunately, this is because we have seen students jumping in and out of the test or using another device to get onto Google to answer the questions. So the fact that other people have not been honest makes it that much more difficult for us to administer the tests. So, but you're going to need a second device with Zoom on it, so work on that. You can get it on your phone, you can get it on your tablet. You know, it's very easy to download. Quizzes, there are 5 of them. The next one is next week. Quizzes will be on the material we covered today. All right, so those reviews that we're going to talk about here in a little bit will be very helpful before next week if you attend a review to figure out what the quiz is going to be about and to kind of reinforce the learning. Okay. So they will be given at the beginning of class. If you miss the quiz, you cannot make it up. So those points you will forfeit. Okay. Your comprehensive math final in your syllabus says week 12. We're going to do that in week 11, so we're not taking 2 finals on the same day. Okay. And this will cover all the math we have talked about in class and lab. And your comprehensive final exam will cover everything that were on these 4 exams and these 5 quizzes. Anything's up for grabs for that. Okay, Gladys has bingo. Sharita has bingo. Shyla has bingo. Elmira has bingo again. Got a lot of bingos. Good job, guys. All right, so your homework will be your NCLEX questions. And when we, so you're going to have 1 Kaplan review test to take, and you will get your Kaplan in about 3 weeks. And then your dosage calculation exercises, which we will talk about in a little bit. Okay? So that is your syllabus. Go back up here.
So, does that mean we have homework tonight? Is that what that?
No, your homework this week is get in Canvas, get things organized, get some time management, go to the time management programs. That's this week's homework.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Next week we will start on homework. All right. So you navigate your course through the modules. Okay, and those of you who can get into Canvas, it would be good if you got into Canvas right now, because we're going to have to do a few things before we get moving forward. So your student resources is where you're going to find all your books, the resources for your books. Come on, open up. All right, textbook evolve resources. This is for your fundamentals book. If you click on that, hopefully it's going to open up for me today. It's going to ask you to load it.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I clicked on the student resources and it says access denied.
Okay, we have to do that technical quiz before it'll let you into anything, okay? So these are the resources for your textbook, all right? There are also some fun things here. There's a answer to the questions that are in your book. And we have, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do the questions at the end of the chapter for every chapter we cover, okay? Highly recommend that.
Did you guys hear that? That's a little breadcrumb. When Novak says, I highly, highly recommend, write it down, highlight it, take a picture, do something, and then review it later, okay? She says review the chapter or the questions at the end of the chapter. She's giving you a nice little
hint,
gift, okay?
Okay. So, and then it has each chapter, so like 1, 2, and 3, and there are probably, hopefully, other questions here to practice with, yes. Review questions. These are in addition to the ones at the back of the book. Okay. So these are not required. This is for your own education, all right? You would begin the quiz, and it says, in the 20th century, nurses moved into hospitals, long-term care facilities, community or state mental health facilities. So you would read the chapter, you would know that, right? So, you know, these are just ways to reinforce learning. All right. Okay. So go back to your modules. Okay, there are also resources for your reference books. So your lab book, your Perry and Potter clinical skills, your Calculate with Confidence, your Saunders. Now, Saunders is where you're going to do your homework for your NCLEX. NCLEX questions will be due the week they're due on Friday by 5 p.m. Okay? So you go into quiz, and it's going to show you a picture of your book. Okay, there's your NCLEX PN book. This is just a little explanation of what you can do here. You click continue. Now we have 3 choices here. So you always are going to select exam and 25. Okay, I know it says 20. You need to do a certain number of NCLEX questions. We're not doing them for the full 10 weeks, so we're doing 25 a week. Okay, I'm not asking you to do extra. I'm not asking you to do anything that is not going to help you in the long run, okay? So we click 25. Then we have to select the category. I will show you where to find the categories later, but we will be in, where are we here? Priority concepts for your first one. Okay, so we're going to check priority concepts, and then we're going to go to professional nursing health, all right? These little carrots here, all right, it'll look like this when you get in. We do not want to check the whole box. We want to check on that little carrot right there, okay? And then you will need attributes and roles of a nurse, okay? And so I think you have ethics questions and health promotion, okay? And then perhaps go down here to healthcare delivery and do care coordination, okay? Once you have chosen your types of question, begin session. All right, and here's your first question. It says, while collecting data related to the cardiac system on the client, the nurse hears a murmur, which best describes the sound of that heart murmur. So, lub-dub is a normal heart sound. Scratchy, leathery heart noise is not good, but it's not a murmur. Abrupt, high-pitched snapping noises, that's actually what a valve sounds like. So gentle blowing or whooshing noises would be our answer. We click that, hit submit. All right, and we go through all 25 questions. Let's see if I can't pull this over here somewhere. I'm gonna pull this over here. Okay, so when we're done, we're going to hit stop or finish. It'll be stop now because we haven't gone through. So do we want, and then you're going to end and tally the session. Right, well, where am I going to find my results? I'm going to go here to history. And I will be going to the one I just did. Click on that in history, and here are your results. Well, we had one question we attempted, it was correct, we got 4% on our NCLEX. You need to get at least 78% on your NCLEX, okay? But I don't want you doing these over and over and over and over again. If you have a question you don't know what's going on with it, you will learn how to answer questions you don't have all the information for, but you can also look it up in your textbook, okay? Or your Saunders book. So when we would like you to upload something that goes to this. So we're going to print results. Now my printer has a save as a PDF function, okay? If you save it as a PDF, somewhere where you can find it again, because this is always my problem, I lose them. Okay. So I'm going to save that in PNR 104. All right. Okay. So now I have it in my files. You're going to leave here. We're going to go to your assignment. Okay. So now you're not going to have all those on there. All right. So NCLEX questions from Saunders, week 3. Where'd you go? Come back. Click on your assignment. Okay. So when you click on your assignment, it's going to tell you which questions you're going to select. So we're going to complete 25 questions. You're going to go into student resources, pick your, get your book up, hit exam review, continue, exam 25 questions, select category, which would be priority concepts. And then your subcategory would be professional nursing care and healthcare concepts. And then we are going to select attributes and roles of a nurse, health promotion, and professionalism. Up here, okay, because I'm not in the student site, you will see something that says submit. Okay, hit that box. It'll be a drop box to put that file that you just saved from your PDF into that file that will automatically go into your grades, okay? So that we can look at them and grade them. If you get less than 78%, then you need to go back and you have to remediate your questions. So let's go here. Yep, see, I knew that was going to happen. So, and I have to get back into that book to do that, but I'll have to go in a different direction. But then remediation means we look at what the answer is and why they got that answer. And I want you to write like one sentence about why you got that question wrong. What didn't you realize? What didn't you know? Or what did you miss? Okay. I will go through that much more next week when we're getting into turning in your homework. Okay. So right now we're going to take a 10-minute break and come back at 10:10. And when you come back, I would like you to be in Canvas. If you can't be in Canvas, it's okay, but let's, everybody who can get into Canvas and get into your technology literacy check under course welcome.
I put in the chat how to access your Fortis email. If you guys scroll back up, you can download that document onto your computer. And I also emailed it to everybody who put their email address in the chat. So hopefully during break, you guys will be able to access your Fortis email. You'll find that email with the code to join Canvas. You'll click on that and then you'll be in. Okay? Good luck, everyone.
Okay, we'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay. Time for everybody to come back. Turn your cameras back on. If you have not put your name in the chat, you need to put your name in the chat in order to be counted as present. All righty. So did everybody get into Canvas? Yes, no, maybe? Okay,
I got in, but my screen doesn't look like yours.
Like your Canvas screen?
I mean, like when I, okay, let me pull it back up. When I bring it up, I'm on the dashboard. Mine looks like cards, like.
Yes, yes. Okay, so let me go out to my dashboard. Let me get this shared again before we go anywhere. Okay, so I'm on my dashboard here. Sooner or later.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
All right. So you want to go into PNR 104 AM.
Okay.
Click on that. Okay. Now does this look familiar?
Yeah.
Elmira, do you have a question?
I do. I'm having a hard time just getting a Canvas in general. So I've went in and I've got on my Fortis Gmail edu
Yeah.
mailbox. I don't know what's next.
All right.
Hey there,
To go
Lizette.
into Canvas, you need to go to Fortis on Chrome. Go to Fortis.
Okay.
Dot Instructure, INSTRUCTURE. Let me get this in the chat, okay?
Please and thank you.
.com, okay? And that will take you to your Canvas.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, I got it now. I see.
Okay, good. All right, so let's go back down to modules. And we want to go to the technology literacy check. It's very important that we do this. Nothing is going to open up until these two things are done now, okay? You have all the books, all the modules, but it won't let you in. So your technology literacy check. You hit start quiz, I'll hit preview.
Excuse me, where can I get a technology literacy?
Go to modules. If you're not in Canvas.
I'm in Canvas.
Okay, go to modules.
Yeah.
Go to getting started.
Get started.
Okay. There
Okay.
it is. Okay. So we have to get 90% on this exam to move on to the rest of the course. You can take it as many times as you need to, but we're going to kind of do it together, and those of you who have already done it can help us. All right. So question number 1 is, name the browser. Okay, match the images below with the name of the browser they represent. So the first one, does anybody recognize that?
Oh,
Firefox. That's
I'm
Firefox.
no.
Okay, so come down here to browser 1 and choose Firefox. That's your Firefox browser. This is browser number 2. Okay.
I'm still
This-
stuck on the, I'm still stuck, hold on. I'm on the question 1. Maybe I'm in the wrong spot.
Are you in the technology literacy check?
Let me see. So I went to modules. Okay, hold on.
Is not that one is.
I'm sorry. I went to modules and getting started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sorry, my computer's a little slow. Now it's saying to get started, complete each step.
I think
Okay, so
I'm
here, course
confused.
welcome. All right, so you're going to see your student resources and then course welcome. All right, getting started, and then literacy check.
I don't see any of that.
So if your course welcome is closed, you're not going to. So click on the little arrow
Okay.
next to it.
I don't even see course welcome.
Are you in modules in PNR 104 AM?
Let me make sure. I'm pretty sure I am. Modules. Getting started,
Yeah.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I must be doing something wrong.
Are you still on the home page?
No. Let me go back.
Okay.
I have attend history. Should I go to the next question or?
Okay, so I'm back
Hold
on. All right, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm back on the home page where it says PNR 104 basic skills.
Okay, you're in the wrong thing. No, wait a minute, maybe not. Hold on. Does it look like this?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me. No.
Oh boy.
Okay, is this what it looks like?
Yeah.
Okay. Go down to getting started here.
Oh, okay, at the bottom there. Okay.
That's another way in.
Wait a minute.
Okay, that'll take you to this page. Come to course welcome.
Okay, I'm on course welcome, getting started.
Okay, right under getting started, it should have your technology literacy check.
Okay. Mine didn't give me any technology.
Mine isn't either.
Okay, Ms. Kaplan? You back?
No, I'm not doing that either. This isn't it.
All right,
I don't
for
have
those of
I
you,
think I tried answering mine yesterday and I got 9 out of 10 and now I can't get into it again.
okay, because you've already taken it.
Oh,
Okay, so this is
I
for
didn't
those
get
that
a
haven't.
10, I got 9.
Good. All right,
So I can
so
retake it again?
you cannot retake it again. You got to get over, if you got over 90%, they're not going to let you retake it.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I see why.
all right, so. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to move you up here. So let's preview this again. And so question number 1, have you guys all figured that one out yet?
I haven't even gotten on there yet. I'm sorry.
Not even running.
I'm still still on the page where it says student resources and course welcome getting started. It doesn't have a technology thing up there.
Okay. Just follow along with us right now and we'll get you worked out here at the end, all right?
Okay.
Okay, so the first browser is Firefox. The second browser is, those of you with Apples will recognize this.
Safari.
That is Safari. Google, or browser number 3,
Google.
or Chrome, yes. And browser number 4,
Microsoft.
Microsoft Edge. So we have Firefox, Safari, Google Chrome, and Microsoft Edge. Okay. So what is the best way to navigate your course in Canvas?
Weekly modules.
Very good, yes. That gives you everything you need, your instructions, your assignments, your reading, everything. What is the most important aspect of the screenshot?
That's
wrong. The URL is included.
Mm-hmm.
The image is clear.
And that the image is clear, yes. So anytime you have to send a screenshot to me or to help, that's what we need, all right? What time range needs to be selected when clearing your cache and cookies in Chrome? If you're having trouble getting things to load in Canvas, Canvas is very finicky, and it does not like to have a whole lot of cookies around when it's getting loaded. So sometimes you have to go in and clear your browser data, which you get in settings and go to that and you can get there. So we need to clear your cache for all time, all right? And then things should work better.
I'm lost.
We're on question number 4 of your quiz.
So I got a question after the quiz, because I don't have it up either. I can't find it. Will you help us?
Yes, absolutely. Question number 5, the best way to access Evolve case studies. Now you guys don't have case studies this term, but you're going to need them next term, okay? You want to go through your student resource page. Don't go into Evolve to try and find anything, all right? Everything comes off of Canvas. To access calculation practice problems, pop-ups must be manually
Locked.
No, we want them to unlock. Allowed for the page. Okay? Gotta allow them to come in. Okay, below are the steps you should take while attempting an access online book resource. Please match the steps to the order they should be completed. So let's look at number 1. First thing you need to do is find the link, right? So we're going to click on the link provided in student resources. Okay. If you need a access code, if they prompt you for an access code, we're going to imprint the code provided on the physical copy of your book. So the front page. This one here. All right, so on this page, okay, there's not one on here, but this page will have a scratch off, all right? And you need to use that number as your access code. If that doesn't work, we're gonna talk to your instructor. And if that doesn't work, then we're gonna submit a ticket to the help desk and get us in. All right. Gaining access to Evolve, make sure to use your email and not your username to log in. True or false?
False.
That's false, yes. If you are going to Evolve, you need to use your Evolve username. It may not be the same. So take this speed test to see if your computer is fast enough. So you click on the speed test. Okay. Results, say. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to create a response, but no results. But if it worked, then we go back down here and say yes, true. And then number 10, to exhaust all options to try and resolve your technical issues, please select all of the information you must include in every ticket request. We're going to need your name. We're going to need your campus name. You're going to need information about your technical issue, and you're going to need to send them a screenshot of what the problem is. Okay? And then hit submit quiz. Okay? And it will give you your grade, and yours will be here up in this box. Okay? So if you got if you got 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, we're done and everything's good. If not, you're going to have to take it again later. Then let's go back to modules. I already have a question.
I have a question.
Yes.
For question number 5, what is the best way to access Evolve case studies? I clicked use links on the student resource page. It said that incorrect.
It did.
For mine as well.
Okay. Well, then I don't know everything.
Mine too, and number 7 as well.
And number 10.
All right. So what was the correct answer?
Oh,
Doesn't
tell me.
We use weekly models.
Modules, weekly modules. Okay. Yes, that makes sense. Yes. Using weekly modules, because then it should be in your weekly module. Yes, sorry about that. Okay, next thing we need to do is go to syllabus and student handbook acknowledgement. Sharita, I will hook you up with somebody that can help you get into your email here in a little bit. Okay, so when you click that, it should come up with a question. Okay, and it says, I have reviewed the syllabus and student handbook. I understand my expectations and will direct any questions to my faculty. And you hit true.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you go back to show how you got there, because I didn't
How I
follow
got
it.
to this page?
Yes.
All right. So we go to modules.
Okay.
All right, and go back to where your technology literacy check was. Right underneath it is the syllabus and student handbook acknowledgement.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So if we go to here.
I did find the student, excuse me, I'm sorry. I did find the syllabus and the student handbook acknowledgement, technology and literacy check. I don't see it.
I have a feeling you're in the wrong shell, but we will figure that out here in a bit. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so click true, because you did look at the syllabus and you got your student handbook. Then hit submit quiz.
Yeah.
All right, now when you go back to your modules, everything should be less gray. Everything should be clear now.
Yeah.
So when you go to modules, can you access things now?
Yes.
All right. Good. So, about your instructor gives a little bio about the three of us and our contact information. So then get my Evolve door or my Canvas to work. Okay. So there's me, there's Professor Kaplan, and Professor Dolph is here with her little puppy. And then your contact information for each of us is here, in case you forget it. All right.
Where can you find this? I got.
Okay, we're all in it. We're still in the module that had the technology quiz and the student handbook acknowledgement.
See, I have student handbook acknowledgement, and I did that little one question test. I got 1 point there, but I don't have anything on here about that technology thing where you guys just did those 10 questions.
All right, like I said, I think you guys are in the wrong shell, and I don't know which one you're in, so we will talk in a minute. Just pay attention, and then when we'll get you in the right shell, you'll be able to see what we're doing, all right? So, and then Course Cafe is an opportunity. It's like a little chat that you guys can chat with each other. You can ask questions. You can, you know, it's ungraded. Just post comments, questions, whatever, so that, you know, we can all help each other. All right, then we go to week one. Week one overview. This is what we're doing today. You should be able to open this now because we took our quizzes. All right, it gives our objectives for today and our to-do list. So this is what you should have read before class. I'm not holding you accountable for that today, but next week when you look at course week 2, you should have that read before you come to class. Okay, and then your assignments and activities will be right underneath it.
What is she talking about?
Now you all lost again.
Yeah.
Are we on the syllabus?
Nope. We're in modules. Week 1.
Week 1. It's blocked. Yeah.
If you've not taken the technology quiz and done the syllabus thing, you're not going to be able to get into it.
I took mine, and mine is still blocked.
Did you do both of them?
Yeah, I did both of them, and I think I got
90%
a 10
on
out
it?
of 10. Yeah.
Okay. All right,
so
so
I'm
we
gonna
will
have to
work those
retake
issues
it.
out here. We have to keep moving here because we have class to do too. All right. So I will promise you I will get to all your questions and help you do all these things, but I have to keep moving. All right.
Okay.
So, week 1 activities is your reading. These are those evolve questions that you can use for practice. Okay. Week 2 overview. Notice that we have a quiz in week 2. And you have an assignment to do in week 2 from Saunders. If you click on that, it will take you to your Saunders, or it'll take you to your assignments. Okay. And then you would click, you know, do the assignment and then upload it. Okay. So that's how we get through this course is we go through the modules. The weekly modules will tell you what you need to do every week for class, and that needs to be done before class. And you notice we have quiz 1 next week at the beginning of class. Okay, and this goes through all 12 weeks. So through this, you'll be able to know when your tests are, what your homework assignment is, what your reading assignment is. Okay? And I understand all the frustration with Canvas, and we will get it worked out. Everybody just take a deep breath. Okay. So, yes?
For the tab for the NCLEX questions, can we just click on that and that will take us straight to it?
It should. If not, you have to
Okay.
go up into your resources. But you're going to have to
Okay.
put your access code from the inside cover of your NCLEX book
Okay.
in order to get in. There's Ms. Kaplan. Yes, quizzes and exams are not open book. So don't forget you'll need to be on your laptop to take your exams and use your phone to Zoom. Okay. All right, let's see. I have a few more things on my PowerPoint slide so that we can move on and get some classwork done today. Okay, so like I said, your assignments, your NCLEX questions are due every Friday by 5 p.m. in weeks 3 through 10. Your math assignments need to be completed prior to your lab starting in week 3 now because we don't have lab in week 2. So I highly recommend that when you're doing your math assignments, you're going to be doing them in the chapter review questions, not the practice questions. And those are listed on your assignment page. And I will be spot checking your math in lab, okay? Just, you know, hold it up to the camera and let me see that you did it. It's more of the honor system, but do not sell the math short. You need to have the math. You need to get a good base in the math now, because in 2 terms, you're going to have a HESI that is all dosage calculation. And this is where we learn how to do that math. We talked about your NCLEX assignments. Quizzes and tests are as scheduled. We're going to cover the materials from the previous week. So you're going to need the materials we talk about today, plus looking at the questions at the end of the chapter in chapters 1, 2, and 3 for your quiz. All right, you have a lot of support. Got this thing here and I don't want this here. Okay. Professors, that's Professor Dolph, myself, and Professor Kaplan. We are on campus. We will have weekly review sessions on campus and virtual, and there will be prizes. Professor Kaplan's been shopping. Okay, fun prizes. This is more of a game type atmosphere. It's not a serious thing. We're going to make sure that, you know, it's just a different way to learn. We're having them weekly, so it'll help you with the quizzes, it'll help you with the tests. We can also tutor or set up a tutoring time with one of the 3 of us for content and for math, okay? And you can either come in individually, or if you have a small group of friends that need to come together, we can do that, okay? Secondly, you have the Student Success Center. Yes, John, you have a question.
Is there somewhere where we can see what days these workshops
It's
and
coming.
study?
It's coming, John. Hold on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Student Success Center. Alexis Burton is our nursing student success coach. Okay, I'm sure she'll be contacting many of you, but she has 2 workshops coming up. Week 1, we're doing time management. This is where you're going to figure out where you're going to fit that 120 hours of outside of class time into your life. Okay. And then week 2, we're talking about study skills and test taking just in time for the first exam. Okay. So you should have gotten an email from the nursing office or with the Student Success Center that gives you all the times for these workshops. And then finally, if life just gets totally overwhelming, we have a service called WellConnect. Here's the number. WellConnect can help you with any kind of mental health issue, anxiety, stress, you know, your issues, your family's issues. It can also help you with legal issues. It can help you with housing issues, childcare issues, anything you need in order to stay in school and be successful. Okay? So you can call them at any time, 24 hours a day, if you need help. Please do not ignore that important resource. Okay? And if you call us about things, we'll probably refer you there. Okay, class reviews. Monday, 2 to 4 p.m. I believe Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. is virtual. Is that true, Professor Kaplan?
Sorry, I keep trying to email people if they need stuff, so I'm switching screens. But yeah, it'll be virtual on Tuesdays, and then Monday and Friday will be in real life. Okay?
Live on campus.
With prizes, guys. I love games. Trust me, we'll have a lot. It'll be fun. You'll learn a lot, but it's relaxed. It's not serious. It's more, you know, let's just get this stuff down and, you know, have a little fun with it.
And we will be sending out a Zoom link in your announcements for the 6 to 8 session. Are you having that tonight?
I was thinking I'd have like an open house.
Okay.
If you want to post a link on the announcements, Professor Novak, I'll send you one if you want to post it for me. So if anybody has any questions about Canvas or, you know, how do you access your email or what book do I need, you know, whatever questions you guys have, you're welcome to pop on. You don't have to stay for the full 2 hours. It's more like an open house kind of thing. You just come, ask your question, and then, you know, you're welcome to stay, but if you're done, you can leave. Okay, so we just want to be as available as possible for you all. Okay, we want to get you started right. We want to make sure you have everything you need, you know everything you need to know, and that, you know, your questions will be answered. Okay, and they'll be answered in a timely manner. You just have to kind of get to the help. Okay, does that make sense to everybody?
Okay.
But I would love to see you.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All righty. So there will be sign up links for Monday and Friday to come on campus, so I know who's coming, so that we can make sure we have enough staff and room, because we have to follow COVID precautions. Okay, and we have limited amount of students we can put in a room. So,
But the more the merrier.
I know you guys have been asking questions throughout this whole thing. Is there anything still hanging out there that I haven't covered that you need some information on right now?
So I still need help with that literacy check.
Okay. So
I'm still stuck from when we were doing the 10-question quiz. I went to modules. I see where it says, you know, student resources and course welcome getting started, and the syllabus where you acknowledge the student handbook acknowledgement. I see all that, but the only thing I don't see is that where we went in and where you guys went in and did the 10 questions.
okay, can you do me a quick favor and share your screen? Are you still on Canvas?
Yeah.
Okay, so go to the bottom of Zoom and hit share screen. I'm going to stop sharing so you can.
Okay.
Share your screen and show me where you're at.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't know what I did here. Hold on. Oh, here I am.
There you are. Okay, problem number 1. You are in the wrong course. Okay, so go over to the side here on the left where you see the dashboard sign. It looks like a speedometer.
Right here.
Right there, go there.
Okay, it would be running slow right about now.
No, it's because everybody's on. It's not a problem. I got anatomy. Go down to the tan box.
This one?
Yes. All right, now go to modules.
Okay. There it is.
There it is.
I see what's going on now. Like, so.
Yeah, there are
when you
so many
have-
different shells out there, and I apologize. You need to be in this shell that says GPNR 104.
So each one that you click on, you can still go to modules, and then you'll go to that module for that particular one.
Right. So like
Okay.
each box is a separate class.
Okay.
Okay. So you need to be in this one for our didactic class, and then your lab class says 104/ABCDEF, probably A, B, or C because you're day students. Okay. Those are the 2 we're using for this class. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All righty.
And I need to eventually get in there sometime today and do that technology literacy check and.
Right, because when
Right.
you do that, then everything else, scroll down. See how it's
I
all
see it.
grayed out now? When you take your literacy test and your syllabus acknowledgement, all that will pop up and you'll be able to access it.
Thank you. You're awesome.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
Okay. All right. So let's get into some actual like classwork. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing your screen there, Carla. Okay. So everybody have your fundamental book, the big fat one. Let's get that open here, and we're going to talk about how to read this book. Okay. Your general contents, you know, just the is on the front cover. All right. And it just gives you the basic what the chapter is. If you want more in depth on how to find things, they are in the contents that are on the Roman numeral pages. So it'll go through each section of each chapter there. But right now we're going to look at nursing in the healthcare system. That's on chapter 1, page 1. Okay. Every chapter is set up the same. First thing you're going to see when you open up your chapter is your objectives. Your objectives are what you're going to be tested on. These are things we want to make sure you know about. Okay? So we're not going to read this book like a novel. We're not going to read every word in this book because nobody has time for that, right? So you need to look at your objectives. you need to look at your key terms. These terms are terms that are going to be used on the exams. So if you do not know what it's talking about when it says aseptically, you better look that up here in the chapter so you understand that aseptically means clean. Okay? So, and as you go through your key terms lists are going to get much longer. So if we look at our first objective here for theory, it says describe Florence Nightingale's influence on nurses training. Turn to page 2. There's a whole section on Florence Nightingale. Okay. So yes, it's interesting. If you want to read all the history of nursing, that's great. But if we're going to be, efficient, let's go to Florence. Florence is one of my heroes. It's one of my heroes for a couple of reasons.
I love Flo too. I do. I have to
One
tell everyone, she's
reason-
awesome.
One reason she is my hero is because she put science into nursing. Okay. She kept statistics. She proved to people that her theory, her way of nursing is the right way to do things. Okay. Before it was just hit and miss. Hospitals were a place you went to die because they were not clean. Literally, there was slop, contents from bedpans thrown in the middle of the floor in a trench that they would throw some water in to kind of wash down to the sewer. Okay, so you have beds and then the sewer. They never opened the windows. The light was awful. The food was worse. And they expected these people to get better. Now, we know better than that today, but back then they didn't. So Florence came in and says, hey, I've tried this. I have cleaned up the sanitation. I've improved the ventilation in my unit. And they lowered the death rate from 60% to 1%. And they proved what they could do. Okay? Awesome. So her theory, okay, which, she opened up her own training school for nurses, and this is what her curriculum is. Nutrition is an important part of nursing care. Okay? It's not something that we can just overlook. Fresh, clean air is beneficial to the sick. And remember, this is back in the 1800s where they thought night air was bad for you and bathing was even worse. Okay? You never took a bath. You never opened the windows. Okay? Sick people need occupational and recreational therapy. Nurses should help identify and meet patients' personal needs, providing emotional support also. And then it should be directed towards 2 conditions, health and illness. Not only are you going to be helping people get better, you're going to help people prevent to be sick. This is a huge part of nursing. Okay? And then the important thing that she did for nursing education is right there. Nursing is distinct and separate from the practice of medicine and should be taught by nurses. Before that, nursing was taught at the bedside by the doctor, and he taught you what you needed to know to take care of his patient. So if his patient had a horrible wound, he taught you how to do the dressing change, and that's about all you learned. You learned how to do a dressing change. Okay, if it wasn't part of the care of that patient, to do an injection, to take care of anything else, you didn't learn about it. All right. And Florence pulled those people away from the bedside and taught them like we teach you today in the classroom, and then send you out to practice what we're doing. Okay, and that continuing education is needed for nurses. Once you finish school, you're not done learning. If you choose to wait a while before you get your ADN or your BSN, you're still going to have 24 contact hours before you can get your license renewed every 2 years. So 12 contact hours a year of learning in the field that you are in right now. Okay, mandatory by the Board of Nursing. Okay, so that's one thing. You look at the objectives, you find the information. You look at the key terms, you find the information. Secondly, you pay attention to little boxes that are on your chapter. Okay, here we have a lot of CUSIN considerations, and we'll talk about CUSIN in a minute, but there are also boxes and tables. This is very important information. It's so important. They pulled it out of the text and they put it here. If you don't read the text, read the box. Okay? This is concentrated information. We'll go through that, and then, you know, just kind of get a feel for what each of the topics are, like practice settings, delivery of nursing care, etc. And then at the end of the chapter on page 12, you're going to see get ready for the NCLEX examination. And there are key points there. So it's like a summary of the chapter. And then your review questions for the NCLEX. There's 8 questions here. Answering these questions will help you immensely to pass the quiz. How many times have I said that already, Professor Kaplan? Okay, so no, we don't read every word in this book. Nobody has time to read all 400 pages in this book. All right, you have to read smart. Use your study guide next to you as you're looking up this activity. It's got questions in it for you to answer about the content of the book. And it has other activities about critical thinking and things like that. So between this and the review sessions, if you still have questions, call us, text, call us, email us. The best way to get hold of me is email. I'm on my email all the time. You can either use the email in Canvas, or you can email me at my school email at rnovak@fortiscollege.edu, which was in the chat earlier. And it's on my contact information. Okay, so let's continue with chapter 1 and what we need to talk about here. So let's talk about the art and science of nursing. Nursing is both an art and a science. So what part of nursing is the art? What do you think?
Patient interaction.
Patient interaction, yes. It's more of the caring
Skills.
side of nursing, right? This is why you want to be a nurse. You have that in your heart. You have that caring in your heart that you want to take care of people. That's the art of nursing. But in order to take care of them effectively, we also need to have the science of nursing. Okay? So, definitions of nursing, there's a lot of them, but all of them include promoting wellness, preventing illness, facilitating coping, and restoring health. Lots of theories, but those are the 4 things that you will find when we're talking about nursing. And in order to do that, you need to take on many roles, okay? You're going to be a caregiver, obviously, right? You're also going to be an educator. You're going to be helping your patients understand what's going on with them and what they need to do to be better or to stay better or promote wellness. You need to collaborate with other members of the healthcare team. You need to be an advocate for your patient. If you think things are not going the way they should for your patient, or your patient isn't happy about the way things are going, and there's something you can do about it, you need to step up and do it. And you need to be a manager, because you're going to be managing other people. You're going to be managing, you know, you have your nursing care, but you'll have unlicensed personnel, or we call them aides, okay, that you're going to be directing to care for your patients. So you need to be able to manage that. You need to be able to manage your time. You need to be able to get everything done in that 8-hour shift that you have, okay? So your caregiving skills are aimed at restoring and maintaining a person's health. So we have what we call interventions. Those are your actions that you take to improve somebody's health or maintain it or prevent illness. So an intervention like turning your patient every 2 hours would be to help prevent bed sores. But that's a nursing intervention. And safety is always a #1 importance.
I'm sorry, what page, are we on page 3?
We're still on page 3. There's a lot of
Okay,
information on page 3.
I just got, got lost.
Okay, plus you got the great picture of the nurses in those capes. I love those capes. I want a cape. So, okay, flipping the page over. There are many different nursing theories that are used to promote the care of patients. The one that we use for our curriculum here is the Dorothy Orem theory of self-care deficits, meaning the patient has something they can't take care of themselves, they need our help, and that's what we do as nurses. Okay, so, and over the last 2 decades, or ever since I became a nurse, a little over 2 decades I've been a nurse, we've had the promotion of evidence-based nursing. This is where we identify a problem as a nurse. You know, these people are getting beds, irritations from incontinence. Okay, what's the best block cream, what is the best skin block to put on these patients to prevent them from getting irritation from the incontinence? Or perhaps it's, I worked at a facility once where we had falls. We had 30 falls in 30 days between the hours of 3 and 5 p.m. Well, what happens at 3 o'clock? The shift changes, right? And everybody's scurrying around taking care of the patients that are, you know, in their rooms. All the patients are in their rooms. Well, we decided, let's get the patients out of their rooms. Okay, you can take them back to their room to give care, but let's get them out of their rooms. Let's have a happy hour. Something before dinner to keep an eye on all our patients, to keep them occupied. We have music, we have good snacks, not the little pudding cups. We had good snacks. Okay, our fall rate went down from 1 a day to 2 a month between the hours of 3 and 5. Okay, we had a problem. We critically thought about the problem. We gathered our people, we tracked our results, and we have evidence-based nursing that keeping them out of their room between 3 and 5 was better for them so they wouldn't fall. Okay? Evidence-based nursing. This is nursing that has identified a problem and they're working towards solving that problem, maybe coming up with a better idea. This is, you go through journals and see what other people have thought. In the end, you may write up your own journal article based on what you found, okay? So evidence-based nursing will help move nursing forward in the days to come. All right. So yes, we talked about Orem and her self-care deficit, but there are many other selected nursing theories on this list, which you should know. And one of the more interesting one is Jean Watson. Her goal of nursing is to promote health, restore patients to health, and prevent illness. But she's looking at curative factors and interpersonal processes used to meet human needs to prevent illness. Okay, and some alternative therapies like healing touch, Reiki, things like that are based on Jean Watson's theory of caring and the energy that we provide to each other. Okay. So current nursing practice. This is very important. Okay. You as a nurse will practice under what we call a Nurse Practice Act. There's a different Nurse Practice Act for every state. It is actually state law. It is in the Ohio Revised Code. Okay. So your Nurse Practice Act tells you what you can do as a nurse. If you want to look up your Nurse Practice Act for Ohio, which I left sitting on my table at home, you go to section 4723 of the Ohio Revised Code, and there's all kinds of stuff about nursing. Okay. So your Nurse Practice Act and your practice of standards of practice for the practical nurse are all very important things for you to know about, because this is how you practice nursing, okay? And stay safe and keep out of trouble, basically. All right. So the standards of practice for the licensed vocational nurse is in box 1-1. And it's things like accepting assigned responsibilities as an accountable member of the healthcare team. Generally, as a nurse, you do not refuse an assignment. You cannot refuse to take care of a patient on your assignment. Okay? Nurses take care of everybody. You're going to function within the limits of your educational preparation and experience as related to the assigned duties. So if it's something that we did not learn, it's not part of our duties, we shouldn't be doing them. For example, PNs do not hang blood. Yes, they can help, they can assess, they can keep an eye on the patient, but they do not actually physically hang the blood on the IV pole and start it on the patient. Okay, that's outside of your scope of practice. Utilize the nursing process and planning, and we will learn about the nursing process in a couple of weeks, but what a lot of people will say was, LPNs, they can't assess, they don't have the skills to assess. Well, that's baloney, because you have to take care of patients, and in order to take care of patients, you have to be able to look at them and know what's going on with them. Okay, so you may not assess, but you evaluate. Okay, so you collect data for the healthcare team to make the care plan to take care of your patient. Every patient needs to have a care plan. All right. We implement the interventions that are listed on the care plan in order to help the patient get better. And then we evaluate whether the patient's doing better with our interventions or do we need to change something. You're going to participate in peer review, and you're going to participate in developing policies concerning health and nursing needs of society. So LPNs can be part of the Board of Nursing. They can be on boards of various nursing societies in order to help build a global nursing practice that's safe for everybody. The Nurse Practice Act is designed to protect the public, okay? And they define the legal scope of your practice. It is not defined to protect the nurses. It is defined to protect the public. There are many places you can go once you get your LPN. We're going to start with LPN, and then you can move on to the ADN program, to the BSN, to the nurse practitioner, to various certifications. That ladder goes as high as you want it to go. I never thought I'd get a master's, but I got a master's so I could teach. Okay? So yes, it goes as high as you want to go. So your care of your patients is going to be under the direct supervision of an RN. Okay? Now that RN does not necessarily have to be on the unit or in the building, but they have to be reachable by telephone. So today's healthcare system, I'm on page 9 now. They talk about diagnosis-related groups, DRGs. Does anybody know what a DRG is? Anybody working in a doctor's office? Anything like that? Okay. A DRG was created for Medicare, and basically means this is a set amount of money we're going to give you to take care of a patient with this diagnosis. So when you come into the hospital and you're diagnosed with pneumonia, okay, Medicare says, okay, here's this pot of money. And this pot of money is what you need to take care of this patient. If the patient goes through the process, gets out of the hospital earlier, doesn't have any complications, etc., and you have a few dollars left, that's your money, okay? But if while the patient is in the hospital with the pneumonia, they pick up another infection based on having a Foley, or their IV gets infected, or they get a bed sore. Now, we're not giving you any more money for those complications. You only get this pot of money. And if you can't take care of patients with this amount of money for this diagnosis, then you're going to have to take money out of your own pocket to take care of it. This is why hospitals and healthcare centers and facilities are all very, very, very strict about infection control and making sure we don't have Foleys in unnecessarily, and that we don't have infections based on our IVs and things like that, because those complications tend to lengthen hospital stays and cost them more money. Okay, I'd like to say that they're thinking about the patient, but I know hospital administrators think about one thing, and that's a whole different system. Okay, guys, I see you all like working on the chat here about getting a group together, and you'll have time to talk to each other here in a little bit, so we need to focus on class. All right? So DRGs is what everybody bases their care on. A couple more pages and then we will take a break. All right? So levels of care is something you're going to need to know about. All right? If you look at the figure on page 10, care goes from preventative care all the way down to continuing care. Preventative care is we educate people to avoid getting sick, and we do prevention things that protect the patient, okay? So preventative care would be wearing a helmet while you're on a motorcycle, getting your immunizations, stopping smoking, things like that. Your secondary care or your acute care is your emergency treatment. These are people who get sick quickly, okay? An illness comes on, it lasts less than 3 months, and that's acute care. So it can be your emergency care, it can be critical care, it can be surgical procedures, inpatient services, physical therapy, you know, all those things you need to get better and get back to where your level of health was. All right. And then your tertiary care would be specialty care, like a specialty hospital for cancer, okay, or a wound hospital or something like that. That's where they take you out of the general population, put you in a special area or a special hospital to take care of your needs. All right. After you've gone through all those, you generally end up in some kind of restorative care. So it's your follow-up care, you know, going to the doctor's office for your surgical follow-up, your post-op, your routine care, your intermediate care, rehab, and home care. And then your continuing care would be your long-term care, hospice, having an aide come into your house, those kind of things, okay? So the healthcare system is divided up into these sections, and there are job opportunities in all those sections for you. There are two types of organizations that take care of people. There are the health maintenance organizations. These are your insurance type companies, okay, and your preferred providers. Health maintenance organizations say you need to come to my provider when you're sick. You can't go outside of our network. You need to go in here. So organizations like, I know that like Blue Cross has an HMO and Aetna has an HMO and Kaiser is an HMO, those kind of things. Okay, you can only see their doctors. They're the ones that recommend the tests. You can only do what they recommend. PPOs are preferred provider organizations. They work with the insurance companies to get a large pool of patients from that insurance company, and then they perform the services for a set or capaciated cost, meaning they're paid a set fee for every patient enrolled in the network. So whether you get sick or not, and you're on Blue Cross and Blue Shield, your doctor has 10 Blue Cross and Blue Shield patients, he gets paid something for all 10 of them, whether he sees you or not. Okay, that's capaciated. Okay, but it allows you to choose your provider, and you know, it'll cost you a little more to go outside the network. It's cheaper to be in the network, but you can go wherever you want. As a nurse, you are going to be vigilant about containing costs, not only for the benefit of the patient and their bill, for the benefit of the facility, because if they're going under, they can't stay open, and for you, for your raises and things that you need, okay? So yes, we need to contain costs, and we need to document what we're doing, because insurance companies look at documentation to prove that the facility did what they were supposed to do, and then they'll get paid for it. Okay, so your documentation is very important in not only the health of the patient, because it communicates across all levels of healthcare, but for the bills getting paid. Okay, so let's go chapter 12, or page 12 in chapter 2. You have your list of key points, which you guys should know, and your questions for chapter 1. And we're going to take, we're here until 12:20. Let's take a quick break.
The questions that you said we have for chapter 1, is that down here where it says review questions for the neglect examination?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so let's take like a 5-minute break, and then we'll get through chapter 2 and 3. Okay? I'll see you in 5, and you guys can continue your chat about study groups. Are an excellent idea, guys.
I have a question for my fellow students. Who is creating the WhatsApp group actually? Do we have somebody creating that?
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing it.
I do have WhatsApp, but you going to create it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
So what is your number?
Mine
let me
or
text you
his?
now.
His, because you know, if one person is creating it, he can just add all of us and we could just.
Yeah, I think he posted his number.
That's my number.
My number, I posted on the chat, but it's 614.
Oh, just hold on, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on WhatsApp, but I don't. Are you creating a group and then giving your number for us to join? How's that gonna work?
Yeah,
Can
so
we
you
just
just
text,
download
can we
an
just
app.
text the numbers, please, now, so I can take a picture of it?
What's WhatsApp?
Go on your app store and just download it.
It's like
somewhere you
kind of an
chat.
app.
I'll
Yeah,
get your
it's
numbers, please.
social media.
I just sent my number.
The WhatsApp, it's like Messenger.
Basically.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
more like a study group. It's a social platform where we can use and share video, like more like Zoom.
Okay. Yeah, everybody in the world can have it. It's easier to use.
Yeah, I think it's a better connection too, isn't it, for like international calls and stuff like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna download that now.
Whose number is this? Do we have to add our numbers on the chat or?
Yeah, just the numbers will be fine.
Okay. Wait, I'm about to add.
Yeah, you yourself, I think you need to put your number so people could text you and let them.
Yes, I feel like this is.
Yeah, I'll put my number. Okay, let me do that now.
Yeah, just put your number and then. put text you
Okay,
on
here's
WhatsApp.
my number. I'll just put my number on the email address.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's 614. I made a mistake. (614-809-0070). I would just need like an indication to show that you're interested. Like, just say, hi, can you please add me on the group, please?
Yeah, so I just I text you on WhatsApp so you could know. I text you my name so you could know to add me.
Oh, okay, I see. Oh, okay.
What's your number again?
614-809-0070.
614-809-0070.
614-809-0070.
It says no results found.
You have to add him as a contact.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. I haven't been on here in a while. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me put you in my contacts.
Yeah, his information pops up.
Sorry.
Hey, Norbert.
Yeah, I got Danielle.
Did you
Enzo?
get mine?
Enzo is in here.
Let me double check.
Norbert.
Uh-oh. I didn't mean to do
I got someone says hi, the person that invited.
J'arrive, papa.
That's me. That's Muna.
Yeah, can you write your name, please?
Yeah, sure.
No, you're fine.
J'arrive, hein? Je vais finir, d'accord?
Oh,
And you're gonna add
see
everyone in the group?
Oh, it's Kelly.
You've got my number
I
already.
see Memuna.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
All right.
Oh, is it Honey? Honey from Frontus.
Yes, yes. I sent
Yeah, I see you too. I see Muna.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that should be. Oh, Daniela.
Norbert, do you have Courtney's on there?
Oh no,
Do you have Gladys on there?
no.
I
I'll just need a text from you guys. Like,
I-
it might be your
I
name
did
and that's
text
it. You text me already?
Yes.
Oh, so let me try that.
Are you sure you got the right number? Did you text me direct or you text me through WhatsApp?
Well, I text you like not WhatsApp, but do you want a WhatsApp text?
Yeah, on WhatsApp. On WhatsApp. Like, just text me on WhatsApp.
Okay, guys, good job. Very glad to see you getting together and
Yeah, I got it.
working together. That's a good thing. That's how you get through nursing school.
I can't find it.
Evelyn?
Yes, Evelyn.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I don't know why it won't let me. I'm trying to find. I put you in my contact list, but it's not coming up.
I see Erin. I see someone just text me here.
That was me, Gladys.
Name, please.
Courtney?
Can you just text it for me, please?
Yeah, I did it on the WhatsApp.
Okay.
Okay, guys, let's get started with chapter 2.
I got Gladys. Okay.
All right, so looking at chapter 2, concepts of health, illness, stress, and health promotion. So tell me, what does it mean to be healthy?
To have energy to do.
Nice, yes, energy to do what you need to do, right? What else? Somebody have a different definition?
To be free of any illnesses.
Okay, that's a good definition.
What are we talking about?
What does being healthy mean to you?
Oh,
Strong.
Taking care of yourself, eating right, exercising.
These are all great definitions of health. Everybody has their own idea of what health is, right? And everybody has their own baseline. So in my family, you were healthy if you could get your head up off the pillow and walk to the door to get out the door. Okay? If you, didn't matter what you felt like. If you could get out of bed, you went to school, you went to work. There was no question about that. Okay? So that was health in my family. If they could get moving and go out, they were healthy. Didn't matter that they had severe heart disease, that they had cancer, that they had anything else. If they could get to where they needed to go, they were healthy. Okay? So that means different things to different people. I mean, health is the absence of disease, right? But a lot of people with diseases think that they're healthy because those diseases are not impacting their life, like high blood pressure, things like that. Okay? So you need to know your own personal definition of health and illness so that you are aware of what your feelings are when you're talking to your patients. Because we want to make sure that when we talk to our patients, we're listening to what they say and we're not coloring it through what we feel or what we think is right. Okay, that's part of the reflection. So, the World Health Organization defines health as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So, we all had a great definition, and it all fits under the same category, right? So, feeling ill is subjective, meaning I can't verify what you're telling me. If you're telling me you feel like crap, if you got a headache, I can't look at you and say yes. I mean, there's no big sign flashing on your forehead that says they're getting sick, right? So this is subjective. What your patient tells you is subjective, okay? Only the person can tell you if they're ill. Now there's three types of illnesses actually. There's acute illness, which is short-term, develops suddenly, like the flu, okay? Chronic illness like hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, they develop slowly, but then when you get them, they last forever. And then terminal illness is where there's no cure and it usually ends in death. All right, and then you can have a primary illness, which is one develops without being caused by another health problem, or a secondary illness, which means the illness is caused by your primary illness. So if you have diabetes, we know that diabetes causes a lot of problems in the body. So diabetes will lead to peripheral vascular disease, which will lead to ulcers on your leg. All right, so diabetes would be your primary disease, and then the peripheral vascular disease is your secondary disease. Everybody who gets sick goes through the same 3 stages, all right? Stages of illness, the first one being the transition phase, where you just don't feel well, but you don't quite know why you don't feel well. You don't know what's coming up. You don't know how to explain what's going on with you. Okay, you may use a little bit of over-the-counter medicine or something to help you feel better, but you can keep going on with your life, like nothing's going on. Acceptance stage is when you quit denying that you're sick, which some people never get to, okay, and assume your sick role, meaning you're going to withdraw from your responsibilities, you're going to go to bed, you're going to stay away from people. You get remedies from the doctor or the pharmacy, okay? If your symptoms get worse, you're going to seek out medical treatment, okay? So that is, okay, we've gone from transition to, oh yeah, now I'm really sick, okay? I believe I'm sick now. And then we move, when we start to feel better, we move in what we call the convalescent stage. And as Americans, we are really bad at this stage. This is the stage where you're supposed to rest and recover. Okay? Most of us who need a paycheck, when we get to the point where we can get out of bed, we go to work, right? We skip that rest and recover part of our illness. Okay? But it is very important to get your health back. Okay? And if you have an illness that doesn't really go away, then you can adapt to it. Okay? The current view of health and illness is not black and white. There's a continuum. Okay? If you look on page 16, we see a continuum between peak wellness and death. Okay? And you can jump back and forth, you know, between several states on that continuum, depending on how you're feeling. You can recover from an acute illness, things like that. So that is the health illness continuum that goes from high level of wellness to critical or terminal illness. The graph underneath it, the graphic underneath it, is all the things that affect the state of an individual. So, you know, you don't get sick in a bubble. It just, other things are affecting you that help you get sick. So it could be stress. It could be your age. It could be your sex. It could be your standard of living or your health belief practices, but all of those affect the state of your health. So it's never a one-dimensional thing. Illness is never a one-dimensional thing. There's lots of different things that go into it. So what does this mean to you? As a nurse, what does that mean to you?
I would say when you're doing your view of a patient, you got to consider all of these things.
Right. Yes, you need to take the whole person into consideration. You know, it's not just that they have a hip fracture and we fix that. It's that we have age and their social life and their ethnicity and their previous health experiences to deal with when we're looking at healing that incision and getting them back on their feet. Very good, very good. Okay. Culture also influences our concept of health and illness. I know there are people here from many different cultures. What are some of the beliefs and practices of your culture or what you grew up with that affect health and illness?
Religions don't like necessarily go to the doctor as often. Like they go if they absolutely have to.
Some of them don't like procedures such as blood transfusions and all that other stuff.
Very good, yes.
Or the type of food that they eat too.
Yes, food's a very big thing when we're talking about health and illness, isn't it? Okay. So yes, sometimes you run into groups that are, you know, you live in an area or you work in an area that has a specific ethnic group. You're going to have to learn something about their culture in order to take care of them. Okay. The attitudes, beliefs, and practices of a cultural group may not be yours. They may not conform to your idea, but that's their reality and we have to live in their reality. Okay. So there is a table on chapter 8, page 18, okay, that gives us various cultures, what things that they believe in, what kind of environmental control they like, what their social organization is. Some cultures, you don't talk to the patient, you're going to talk to the oldest male available in the room. Okay, so, you know, there's those kind of communication issues. There are issues with whether a man can take care of this patient or that patient, or if this man, your male patient has a female nurse, how much care does the family give as opposed to the nursing staff? All that's rolled up into your patient, and you have to respect that. Many cultures have folk medicine things, and there's nothing wrong with using the folk medicine things as long as we're making sure that the herbs and things that they're using are not interacting with medications that we're giving. Or if they need to have a shaman in the room or a medicine man or things like that, generally the physicians will work with that too. So all this means that it is a holistic approach to healthcare. Holistic means everybody, everything, the whole. You're considering the biological, psychological, sociological, and spiritual needs of your patient. Okay. So some of the things that holistic healthcare also includes are alternative healthcare issues like acupuncture, healing touch, Reiki, things like that, to help your patient get better. That brings us to Maslow. Maslow is very important in nursing. Maslow shows us how to prioritize our nursing care. Okay, and he developed a hierarchy of needs, which you will find on page 20. So, page 20, we have a pyramid on the top there that goes from physiologic to self-actualization. Those are the level of care that people need or strive for, okay? So physiological needs come first. It does not matter if you feel love and belonging if you can't breathe, right? So the graphic on the bottom, the pink layer on the bottom, your physiological needs start with oxygenation and tissue perfusion. Can you think of any time, you know, where that would take precedence over anything else? Think about maybe you've been trained in CPR. What do we think about with CPR? What's the first thing?
Check if they're breathing.
Are they
Yeah.
breathing?
Okay, are they breathing? Right? Do you have a pulse? Okay, oxygenation and tissue perfusion. First thing on the list, no matter what else is going on with your patient, no matter what you went into the room to do, if there is a problem with oxygenation or perfusion, you
Calling
need
to
to
get
take
you
care of
set
that
up for an
first.
ultrasound that Kevin Shields would like you to have done. Do you have just a moment?
Yes.
Can you verify your date of birth?
04/19.
Okay, thank you. So, so oxygenation and tissue perfusion are the number one thing. That is always a priority, okay? Your number one priority is to make sure that they're breathing and that they're getting gas exchange and their tissues are getting perfused with blood, okay? After that, we can worry about their food and water, but we know you can't live very long without fluids, right? Elimination is next, because fluids lead to elimination, right? So safety, protection from injury is also a very important part of your nursing care. It is a physiological need to protect your patient. Rest and comfort. I was reading Florence Nightingale's notes on nursing, and she specifically said in there, yeah, I'm a geek like that, that never wake a sleeping patient. It's bad for their health. It adds stress. It causes them to be startled. They never get back to that deep sleep. Okay. So in the hospital, do we let our patients sleep?
No.
No. Totally against all kinds of nursing things, right? So if possible, let them sleep. If possible, cluster your care to take care of everything at once. So you don't have to come back in 15 minutes later and do something else. Okay, because rest is important to health. Hygiene is also important to health. Activity. Laying in bed is not healthy. Laying in bed, immobility will lead to joint issues, to contractions, to skin issues, to pneumonia, to cardiac issues. Immobility will lead to a lot of different issues. So we have to make sure our patients get up and moving, okay? And then the last one is sexual procreation, and this is not having sex. This is the prolonging the species, okay? The need to have more children in order to protect, to keep the species going, okay? Once you take care of those needs in the pink level, then we can get down to security, belonging, self-esteem, love, etc. Okay, but you are basically going to be living in this bottom tier in your nursing care if you're taking care of somebody with an acute illness. The top tier is self-actualization. These are people who know themselves and accept themselves. They've achieved what they wanted to. They're open. They have a lot of knowledge and usually pretty artsy. So I have a sister who's 70 years old, or she will be soon. And she is probably the most self-actualized adult I know. She's been through it. She's done it. She knows where she's going. She knows what she wants. She's very spiritual. She takes care of everybody, okay? But she is a self-actualized individual, okay? It takes a while to get there. You're not gonna find a teenager who is self-actualized usually, okay? Life has to happen before you get there, but that is the goal of all of us, to get to the top of the mountain, to get to the point where we're happy with our life and what we did and how it worked, and we're doing what we wanna do right now, okay? Homeostasis on page 22. Okay. Homeostasis, you're going to hear about this in A&P. Did you guys have A&P yesterday? Yeah, no? Okay. Okay, so homeostasis means that the body likes to be balanced. Homeo means body, stasis means balance or stop, all right? So when something gets out of whack in your body fights to get back into balance. So if you think about, you have a fever, all right? Fever is an increase in your metabolism. It's trying to get rid of some kind of virus or bacteria to, help you get healthy again. And part of the fever is that you sweat, okay? You sweat in order to cool you down. So we say, oh, their fever broke because they sweat. The sweating has broken the fever. All right, so it's a little bit backwards. But your body produces all that moisture in order for the air to cool it so that it can get back down to homeostasis principles, okay? The body temperature will get back into balance. You will find in some disease processes where the blood gets a little acidic and the body's not happy with that. It will help you, it will make you breathe harder and faster in order to blow off CO2, okay? So you will always see this balance, your body trying to come up with that balance in order to stay healthy, okay? Because if you are out of balance, you're not going to be healthy. So living in harmony with the external environment and factors require both adaptability and stability, okay? So homeostasis involves the inner and the outer environment. Adaptation is your response to change. And here's where we talk about your autonomic and your autonomic nervous system, your parasympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Have you ever heard about them before?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about here? Okay. So your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system is more like your flight or fight type nervous system, all right? Something happens, something startles you, something adds stress. So I always like to use the bear example. A bear is chasing you in the woods. Page 24, table 2.2. You have an alarm reaction. Oh my gosh, there's a bear and he's chasing me. Your body is going to adapt to make it much more likely that you will survive this bear attack, okay? So first thing that happens is your pupils dilate. They become bigger. Dilate means get bigger. They become bigger so that you can see better when you're running from the bear. Okay? You got to be able to see far away when you're running from the bear, just so you don't jump into a gully or something, okay? Your bronchial tubes also dilate. They dilate to allow more air into your lungs so you get more oxygen to your muscles so that you can run faster. Your saliva glands kind of dry up. You get that dry mouth because you don't want to be choking on saliva while you're running. Your heart increases its rate and strength of contraction in order to get more blood to those muscles so that you can move faster. Your blood vessels, though, generally constrict, okay? And it increases your blood pressure. But they constrict so that if the bear does catch you and bite you, you won't bleed out as fast. Okay? Intestines generally inhibit motility. Your intestines generally shut down for a minute or two here. There's no need to be able to have to stop and take a poop while you're running from the bear, right? Your body says, okay, we'll hold on to that for a while. We don't have time for that, okay? Your liver stimulates glycogen, which is sugar. It makes its own sugar that is stored in your body. And that gives you energy to run from the bear. And then your adrenal medulla, which is the gland on your kidney, it stimulates secretion of epinephrine and norepinephrine, okay? Those hormones help you keep going. So all that happens when stress happens, when you get alarmed about something, when you get into a situation that's scary. All those things happen to you, all right? So if we think about the parasympathetic system is what brings everything back to normal. Once the bear's gone, once you've lost the bear, you're in the house, you got the door bolted, whatever. All right, so then your pupils are going to get smaller and your bronchial tubes will constrict back down to normal and your heart will decrease. All right, you'll have your motility in your intestines will come back, all right, when you relax. So that is your alarm reaction and your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system's response to your alarm. There's another theory or another thing based on stress called the general adaptation syndrome. So when we're talking about stress, what are the signs of stress? General stress.
Headaches.
Headache.
Mm-hmm.
Stomach upset.
Yeah.
And blood
Sleepiness.
pressure.
Yeah.
Fatigue.
Fatigue, yes.
Not being able to focus.
Right. All those things are reactions to stress, right? Yeah. So, I mean, think about it. Have you taken a deep breath since 9 o'clock this morning? Everybody stop, sit up straight, take a deep breath. Come on, one more. Let's release some of that stress that you're holding on to, right? Okay. So it can also lead to confusion, forgetfulness, anxiety, labile moods, which means 1 minute you're happy and the next minute you're crying. That happens in nursing school a lot. Don't worry about it. Yes. That happened to you, Carla, this morning? All right. So all those things are reactions to stress. Those are symptoms and signs and symptoms of stress. So the general adaptation syndrome has 3 different stages to stress. The first stage is your alarm stage. Something happens. We got to take care of something. We got to test. Oh my God. We got to do something. We've been alarmed. All right. So your autonomic nervous system mobilizes and we get, all that sympathetic action going where, our eyeballs get bigger, our pupils get bigger, we're breathing harder, we're ready to go. Okay. If the stressor does not go away, then your body's going to adapt, okay, or get to the stage of resistance to all that sympathetic nervous system activity, okay? So you will continue to feel stress. Your body's going to adapt so that it doesn't kill you, mostly, okay? And if you continue in this resistance stage, so we've had our alarm, now we've reached resistance because we haven't had a stop There's not been an end to the alarm. Your body goes into resistance. And then finally, you reach that stage of exhaustion where you just fall out. You can't do anything. You have totally you've totally used up every reserve you have in your body. Okay, this could be physical stress, this could be mental stress, this could be from an illness, this could be from a family situation, this could be nursing school. Okay, we have to learn to control that stress and put a stop somewhere on that alarm phase so that we don't end up 15 months later totally exhausted and unable to do anything, right? So yes, that stage of exhaustion can actually lead to death. So stress-related disease and disorders, I'm sure, you know, we might have all had some of these. Headaches, gastritis, upset stomach, asthma, low back pain, connective tissue disease, ulcerative colitis, irritable bowel syndrome. Your GI system is really susceptible to stress. Okay, Crohn's disease, allergies, hypertension, cancer, infection, all these things are related to stress. So if you have a patient with one of these things, we're not going to say that their disease isn't real, because it is, but maybe we can find a way to reduce some of their stress and it will help the disease get better or more manageable. Okay, so we have the sympathetic parasympathetic action. We have the general adaptation syndrome, which is what? What are the 3 stages?
Alarm stage.
Alarm, resistance, and exhaustion.
Yes.
Exhaustion.
Exhaustion. Very good. Okay. We want to avoid that long-term exposure to stress to avoid getting these different diseases and getting into that exhausted state. Okay. So look at the box on page 2-3. Or page 26, box 2-3. All right. So common patient stressors. If anybody ever been in the hospital, I know we have one person in the healthcare system right now. Okay. Yes, you've been there, right? First thing they do is they put you in this stupid hospital gown. Take your clothes away, put you in a hospital gown with your back end hanging out. I don't know about you, but that stresses me out. Okay. So yes, that's right off the bat. Okay. Sharing a room with a stranger. You're sick, you don't feel good. Now they put you in a room with somebody else who's whiny and crabby and stinky. Being dependent on others for toileting or bathing. You know, some independent people, that's very stressful for. Eating meals at different times, eating different foods, having to deal with the cafeteria. Talked about being awakened, having too many or too few visitors, and too many visitors is just as detrimental as having too few visitors. Worrying about how much this is costing, who's going to take care of the family, what's going on with the bills at home. All that. I mean, if you dropped over right now, we had to put you in the hospital, what are the other things that you would have to take care of or worry about while you're there? You may be having a heart attack, but you're not worried about the heart attack. You're worried about who's getting my kids out of daycare today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Your family.
Okay, it's a stressor. Having to deal with all the different healthcare workers and, you know, remembering who all these people are that come into your room. Being left on a stretcher in the hall without sufficient warm covers. I've been there too. You get in an emergency room with backed up and they need to take care of you, but they take care of you out in the hallway. All right, waiting for tests, being struck by a needle repeatedly. Okay, having people barge into you while you're toileting. Okay, or having different personnel every day. These are things these are the realities of your patients. You cannot forget those. Okay, we need to do our best to reduce those allergies, those stressors for our patients. Okay, and the stressor can be helpful. There may be, you know, a little bit of stress before a test is great because it focuses our attention, right? Too much stress before a test totally kills us. It totally blocks any knowledge we have in our head. It doesn't come from our head out to the pencil. It just totally puts a roadblock down because we are so stressed we can't think straight, right? A little bit of stress isn't bad, but too much stress is bad, okay? And that can be depending on your perception or the perception of the stressor. It could be because of your previous health, your previous life experiences, your personality. Lots of things that can affect stress in your life. So your body tries to cope with stress, right? We already talked about the general adaptation syndrome, okay? We have physiological defenses to keep us well. We have intact skin that keeps the bacteria from getting in. We have you have things that protect you from viral and bacterial infections in your respiratory tract, etc. Okay? Tough people believe that life has meaning and people can influence the environment, and they see change as a challenge. Other people just wilt under the stress. Okay? So coping means how you deal with the stress. And they have different responses, okay? We can have defense mechanisms, which are very common, you know, like denial. Okay, nope, it's not happening to me, not going to happen to me. Don't have to worry about it. I'm just going to ignore this pain and go on because there's nothing wrong with me. Okay. We can have a reaction formation, which is like when you treat somebody that you really hate, you really dislike this person intensely, like they are your best friend in an overly friendly manner because you're overcompensating for the dislike you have for this patient or this person. Okay. Regression, you see this in children a lot, that they regress back to an earlier age when they're under stress. Maybe bedwetting starts again, or they want to snuggle more, they want to bottle, things like that. All right. We can so these are different types of things that a patient will do or a person will do in order to avoid the stress in their life, in order to not see the stress or not acknowledge the stress. Yeah, they're basically protection. And if you try and talk them out of their protection, then they get very stressed because they know they got to go back and deal with the stress that they're having. Okay. So ways to cope. Okay. We can seek information or give our patients information. We can take direct action. Like if you're in a dangerous situation, you want to move. We can stop an unhelpful reaction, you know. So, you know, crying over whatever, hey, no, this isn't going to get it out of here. We need to do something better. You know, it's like that commercial about the insurance and they're running from the guy with the chainsaws and they're coming up with different, you know, what are we going to do? You know, let's get in the running car. No, let's get behind the chainsaw. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I love that commercial.
Yes. Discuss the situation with someone from your social support system or use your defense mechanisms, which are healthy sometimes for a short period of time. All right. Ways that you can reduce the stress in your patients are in box 2.4 on page 27. Okay. Make sure you explain everything. Give them orientation. Let them know what's going to happen and who they're going to see. All right, bring their medications promptly. Keep noise to a minimum. Okay, let them know what's going to happen. Let them know when the doctor's coming. Let them know when, you know, when it's time for their medication, etc. Give them some control. Having control generally helps a stressful situation. Okay, health promotion behaviors on page 28. So primary prevention behaviors, these are things like wearing your helmet on a motorcycle, putting your seatbelts on, getting your immunizations, okay? Maintaining a healthy lifestyle, sunscreen and sunglasses. Those are things you do to prevent illness. Secondary preventions, your pap smear, your mammogram, your monthly testicular self-examination, your skin test for TB. Okay, these are all things that will let you know if there is a problem, and we do them whether we think there's a problem or not. And then tertiary prevention is after you've had a problem, like after you've had a cardiac issue or after you've had respiratory issues, you do rehab for those issues to try to avoid them again. So those are the 3 levels of health promotion behavior. All right, one more chapter, chapter 3. This is actually my favorite chapter, and I only have 15 minutes to give it to you, so it's going to be real fast. You may have to do a little bit of deeper reading on chapter 3, okay? All the legal terms and definitions are on page 31. You need to know these because these will show up in questions and you need to know what they're talking about, okay? We have 2 types of law. We have civil and we have criminal law, okay? Civil law is a wrongdoing against somebody's rights, okay? So civil law guarantees individual rights, and a tort is what they call a violation of civil law. Okay. So you may be guilty of a tort if a patient gets harmed, okay, by giving them the wrong medication. You have violated their right to be healthy by your actions, all right? So that could be a civil case, or usually we call malpractice. Criminal law deals with potential wrongdealing of a person against society. So if you shoot somebody, you have removed somebody from society that was an integral part of society, that is a crime, okay? If you take something from somebody, if you steal, that's a crime because you are stealing against society, not just one person, everybody is affected. Okay, serious crimes are felonies and not less serious crimes are misdemeanors. And tell you that you cannot get a nurse's license with a felony on your record. So don't start anything fun right now, okay? Stay out of trouble. Laws related to nursing practice and licensure, there's your Nurse Practice Act, and we've already talked about that, and your scope of practice. When you get out of school, are you going to be a nurse?
No.
No.
No. What do you have to do?
Pass
Like an NCLEX.
You have to get a license. In order to get the license, you have to pass your NCLEX, okay? Licenses are specific to states, but there are some states that have nursing license compacts, and that means that you have a license for one state, you are allowed to practice in another state without getting that state's license. So, for example, it's very common out west where if you have a license in Colorado, you can also practice in Nevada, Arizona, Wyoming, you know, the nearby states of Colorado without going and getting a separate license for each one of those states, all right? In Ohio, we are not part of a compact. We are not a compact state. If you have an Ohio license, you can work in Ohio. If you come from out of state, you need to get an Ohio license. And your Ohio license will not transfer to any other state. You need to get a license in that state. The good news is you only have to take the NCLEX once, okay? It's one and done. You never have to take it again for your PN. You'll have to take it again for your RN. But if you have a PN license and you want to get a license in Pennsylvania, you can apply for a license in Pennsylvania. You don't have to take another test. Okay, so that's the good news. Bad news is you got to pay for each one of these licenses. All right. So there is no reciprocity and no compact in Ohio. As a student nurse, you are held to the same standards as a licensed nurse. Does this mean we expect you to put a Foley in as quickly and gracefully as somebody who's been doing it for 25 years? No. But we expect you to maintain sterile fields, to maintain sterility, to make sure that nothing is going to harm the patient, and that you insert the urinary catheter properly so that there is no harm to the patient, okay? So no, well, you're not usually doing that alone. There's usually somebody with you. But you have to do it the same way a nurse would do it. There's no, oh, I'm a student, so I can just do this. No, got to follow the rules. Okay. You need to know the Nursing Practice Act and the definition of nursing in the state that you're in. Okay, which would be Ohio Revised Code. Do not exceed the scope of your practice, even in school. If you have a nurse that says, hey, let me show you something cool, and she's an RN and you're a PN, and it is not in the PN scope of practice, you cannot help, you cannot do it, even if you're a student, okay? You are accountable for your actions, okay? Professional accountability is a nurse's responsibility to meet the patient's health care needs in a safe, effective, and caring way. So you need to be prepared when you're in this classroom, when you're coming into the lab, when you are going into clinical. You need to be prepared to do your work. You are, as an LPN, allowed to delegate. Okay, so you can delegate to your unlicensed personnel and to other LPNs. And you need to practice under your licensed standard of care, which we talked about earlier. If something happens and you make a mistake, say there's a med error or a break in the safety rules or whatever, does the Board of Nursing come and take your license immediately? Catch you at the door and yank your license away?
No.
No. There's due process. There will be a hearing, and they may take your license. They may suspend your license. They may put you in a program, further your education, something like that. But it's not automatic, and it's not immediate. Okay, so it is considered negligence not to report somebody else's professional misconduct. So if you know of a nurse who is stealing drugs, who is taking drugs, who is coming to work impaired, who is having inappropriate relationships with patients, you have to report that. If you don't, you will be also considered malpractice on your part. Okay. So I'm going to let you go through the laws and guidelines affecting nursing practice on your own. There's many of them. I do want to talk about communication and safety on page 35. Okay. SBAR. SBAR is a really important way we communicate with healthcare providers, either other nurses, with physicians, with other units. We have to speak the language, okay? And SBAR is how we speak the language. SBAR means, or ISBAR as your book says, I is introduce yourself. That's always polite, right? S is tell them what the situation is. If you wake up a doctor at 2 in the morning, he does not want to know the entire patient background. He wants to know why you woke him up, right? You'd want to know why you got woke up. You don't want to listen to this long story. Why did you call me? Okay, so tell the situation. All right, so, or if you're passing a patient off to another nurse, give them the situation they're in right now. They're resting comfortably, or they're having problems breathing, or they haven't urinated all day. Those are situations you need to point out at the very top. Okay. Right. Then we can get into the background. That's the B part. Why they came to the hospital, what's happened in the meantime, things like that. And your assessment. Okay. So what is leading you to believe this is the problem? So what are their O2 sats? What are their vital signs? Okay, what happened to your patient today? And then recommendations. Now, this does not mean you are telling the doctor what to do, okay? But a lot of times, you know why you called the doctor. You know what you want when you call the doctor, right? You want him to give you an order for something. So you can say, well, would you like me to get an x-ray? Or would you like to order some pain medication? Or would you like to do something? Okay, we don't say you need to do this. You say, would you like, or can I do this for you? All right, you got to make it sound like it's their idea, but you always have a recommendation. When you are passing a patient off to another nurse, you want to make sure they know what's the top priority to do. So if you know, your patient has had low O2 sats and they need to have a med nebulizer or a respiratory treatment within the next hour, you need to say, hey, they're due for a med neb at 7 o'clock. Okay, just to give them a heads up of what they need to do for this patient. All right, if you get an order from a nurse or a doctor, and like order from a nurse practitioner or doctor, any kind of provider, you have to read it back, and you have to read it back exactly as they said it, not as you think they should have said it, but as they said it. All right, so read it back immediately after they give it to you so that they can verify that that is what they said and that is what they need you to do for the patient. Okay, so that's SBAR or ISBAR. Introduce yourself, situation, background, assessment, and recommendation. This is how we communicate with each other. Okay. Your medical chart is a legal document. Did you know that? It's a legal document. They can use that in court. This is why we don't put our opinions in the chart. We only put facts in the chart. All right, because someday, 3 years down, it's not going to be tomorrow if there's something wrong. It's going to be 3 to 4 years from now. They're going to be handing you the chart and say, why did you do this? Okay, and you got to be able to document so that 4 years from now, you will have a picture of what happened to that patient. Okay, so it is a legal document. It can be used in court. It belongs to the facility. It does not belong to the patient. It belongs to the facility. Nobody can pick it up and walk out the building with it. Okay, it needs to stay with the facility. You can have copies sent with permission, but you cannot just pick up the whole chart and take it with you when you leave. All right. HIPAA is very important, and I'm sure you've heard about HIPAA before, but HIPAA is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. You get so much information about your patients every day. You have access to so much information. All this information needs to be kept confidential. We never talk about our patients outside of who needs to know what's going on with the patient. We don't tell other family members. We don't talk to neighbors. We don't talk to each other in the break room about our patients. If we're discussing a patient in class that you saw in clinical, you cannot give us a name or any identifying descriptions. The people who are in your clinical will know what you're talking about, but the rest of us won't. You cannot give any identifying information about your patient when you talk about them. We never take anything out of the healthcare system with us. So if you're, making notes have to stay there, or any name identifying information has to be scrubbed off of it before you bring it out. Okay? We have to protect their privacy. Okay. Advanced directives or living wills. Does anybody have a living will or advanced directive here? Well, good for you. So yes, those are important because they let people know what your wishes are in the instance where you cannot let them know. Okay, so we can have advanced directives, can include a durable power of attorney for healthcare. So you appoint somebody to take care of you or to speak for you in these situations, and hopefully you've talked to them about what you want. Okay, a do not resuscitate order. And this is an order. This is not just, oh, I want to be a DNR. You need to get a physician's order for this. Okay, and it's that we will not do anything once the heart stops. We will not do anything to restart it. Okay, and there are different levels of that depending on where you work, but it's important for you to know who your patients are, who are a DNR and who are not, because if you resuscitate a person with a DNR, you can be charged with assault and battery because you've gone against their wishes and done things that they didn't want done to them. Okay, so you always need to know who that is. Negligence is failing to meet your patient's needs or doing something that's going to injure them. And malpractice is nothing more than professional negligence. So people with licenses can be charged with malpractice if they are negligent in their duties. In order to bring a malpractice suit against you, you need 4 things. You need to A, have the duty to care for that patient. Has to be your patient. B, you have to have breached that duty or you did not take care of that patient the way you should have. C is there has to have been a cause for the injury. And D, there actually has to be an injury. So those are the 4 things: duty, breach of duty, causation, and injury. And those are found in box 36 on page 40, okay? So if they decide, if family says, well, I'm going to sue you, it's a long process. Basically, they get a lawyer. The lawyer sends a legal nurse consultant out to look at the chart, or they get a copy of the chart, and they go through it word by word and determine whether you were negligent in doing your duty to provide care for this patient and you caused the injury, okay? And like I said, it's not like immediate. It's going to be years down the road before somebody comes back at you and says, hey, you're being sued for malpractice. Or you're included in a malpractice suit. This is where your own personal nursing insurance is important, okay? The facility may have insurance, but that insurance is covering the facility. And they will include you on it, but their first goal is to protect themselves. So you need to protect yourself by getting liability insurance once you become a nurse. It's not very expensive. You know, you can get up to $300,000 in coverage for about $100 a year, and it will protect everything you own. Okay? So that is important. A couple of common legal terms you need to know. 3 minutes. Okay? Assault and battery. What's the difference between assault and battery?
Assault is like threatening, all right, and then battery is actually touching the person.
Right, actually, very good. You got it perfect. Threatening to hurt somebody is assault. Actually laying hands on them is battery. Okay? So if you have, the example in your book is, you're telling a patient, if you don't sit down, I'm going to tie you to that chair. Okay? That is assault. If you actually push him into the chair and tie him down, that is battery. Okay? Criminal charges can be brought against nurses for things like this. All right? Defamation is when you make remarks that are untrue about a person. And there's 2 types. There's slander. So when you speak it, so the S's are together, slander and speak, then that is defamation called slander. If you write it down, then it's libel. So if you write a note to your supervisor telling falsehoods, or you put it out on Facebook, that's libel. All right? Invasion of privacy means that you violated confidential information for the patient, okay, about their health care. If you happen to run across somebody you know in the hospital, you cannot go look at their chart. You cannot go and see why they're there. You can't ask another nurse. They can't tell you, all right? Every patient has the right to privacy, and if it is not your patient, then you don't have the right to know. Also, we do not tell their neighbors when you go home and say, hey, I saw John at the hospital today. Okay? No. It's an invasion of privacy. Okay. So, and then I will let you go through false imprisonment and protective devices and ethics on your own. Okay. Here again, we have our get ready for the NCLEX examination questions and the points that you need to know. All right, everybody, give yourself a round of applause because you've made it through your first nursing class. Yay! We did it. We got through the first class. And I think most of you are still here. Might have lost 1 or 2 of you. Okay. There is no lab this week. So we will see you next week. Remember, I will send out the link for Professor Kaplan's Zoom tonight. If you have issues with, don't understand a word I said today, you have questions about Canvas, about homework, any of that, she can help you with all of that tonight between 6 and 8. Okay? You can always email me or Miss Kaplan or Professor Dolph if you have any questions. If you have a big burning question that needs to be answered right now, you can hang out after this class and we will talk to you about it. Okay? So remember, we are here to support you. We are here to make sure you're successful. Your job is to put in the work and we will make sure of the rest. Okay? Make sense? Professor Kaplan's adding our email addresses as we speak. Okay? Labs are online except for 3 weeks. Week 5, 7, and 9, you will be here on campus. Okay? So like before week 5, we will be talking about vital signs and physical assessment. When you come into campus, you'll have some practice time and then we'll get that checked off. Okay? So the other labs will be online at the same Zoom link that we're on right now. Okay? And we will do demonstrations, watch videos, play games. We will, you know, do as best we can to get those skills in. All right? Anything else?
Yes. So are we doing like homework for all the chapters we covered today? So 1 to 3?
You have a quiz to study for.
Quiz. Okay. Just for
There are no
all 3?
NCLEX questions this week.
Okay.
No math questions this week.
No math.
Okay?
And the quiz is going over chapters 1 through 3?
1, 2, and 3. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and that is next week.
That will be next week at the beginning of class.
Okay.
Okay? Anything else?
All right, I think that's all.
Yeah,
Have a great week,
next
guys.
week-
Good luck with the rest of your classes, and
I
I
have
will
a
see you next
question.
Tuesday.
Thank
I
you.
have a
Do you have a
question.
question? Hang out. Margaret, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next week's lab, is it going to be online or
It'll be online.
online? So is it going to be Tuesday or?
It depends on what group you're in. You will have more information about that before next week.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've been having issues with my Canvas. I'm not able to get a link into my email. I've tried since Friday. I'm not able to do that. I don't know how to get it.
I just got an email about that. All right.
I already emailed her about it. I'm on
You
it.
already
Told
done
you I
the
got
Student and
you.
Technology Resource Center. Did you email them?
Yes, I did, and they said I have to tell the instructor to send me a link in my email, and from there I can try to create it because they can't do it. So I don't know how to get about it.
Okay. Hang on a minute. Let's get through some of these other questions and then I will see what I can do for you.
All right.
All right. Anybody else?
I have a question.
Evelyn, yes.
After we, so, you know, I was behind on the, I didn't get to take that quiz when we did the modules and we had to have at least 90%.
Right.
When I take that, that's when I'll be able to have access to everything because
When you do that and the syllabus, yes.
That and the syllabus. Okay, and I did find it. I was in the wrong one as well.
Right. It's very confusing. You have a lot of different shells out there.
Okay. All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I'm in the week 1 overview and like the to-do list. So we just went like over the chapters, the 1, 2, and 3 chapters, right? So the best thing for us to do is do the questions here in the book. And then like as you go down where it says like activities and stuff like that, like the math portion, where is that at?
You don't have the math portion this week.
Okay.
So don't worry about that.
Okay.
Okay.
But you would use your pink and purple calculate with confidence book for the math part.
Okay.
When we get into that next week. Yep. So you don't have to worry about it this week though.
Okay. Okay.
Good catch. All right. Anybody else? Norbert is our organizer in this group. He has organized the whole What's Up thing for the group study. It's good.
Amen, Norbert. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I couldn't find you on there, but and I put you in my contacts, so I don't know what happened.
You still want me to share you my contact?
No, I put you in there. Let me make. I think I have the right number. Let me read it back to you.
Yeah.
It's 614-809-0070.
Yep. You got it right.
All right, let me try it again.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions? Okay, well, if you don't have any questions, you are free to go.
Hi, everyone. You did such a great job today. You should be really proud of yourselves. You made it through, man. I know your heads are probably ready to explode, but listen, we will get this, okay? If you need any help, we're going to post the Zoom link in the announcement section of Canvas. You can drop by via Zoom and see me from 6 to 8 tonight, okay? All right. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Nice seeing you all.
If you can't get into Canvas, I will email it to you. Hopefully you can get into your email by then. Okay. Anything else?
Courtney, I've not yet created the group. I'm gonna do that by the end of today.
Oh, okay. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Here's Google. Can't even see these things. I'm trying to do that little test on here, and I can't hardly see them. I'm just gonna go for it, I guess.
Okay. Norbert, do you have a question?
Not for now.
Okay, I'll see you next week then.
Yeah, if I have anything, I'll email you.
Okay, good. Miss Gady, how you doing?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing good. Haven't seen you in for a long time.
A long time coming for me too.
Well, I'm glad to see you in nursing school finally.
Thank you. I will never forget what you told me before you left. You remember that? Next time I see you, I wanna be so proud.
And look at you, you're here. So what can I do for you today?
Taught by you. Today I'm still trying to get it's been a long time since I've been out of school. So.
Well, don't worry about it. I went back to school after a long break too, and I survived. You'll survive. We'll get through it.
Yeah. I'm still there, by the way.
Are you really? Wow.
I'm still there. And it's not the same.
Gady was one of my aides when I was a nurse over at one of Village of Westerville, right?
Yeah. It's called Heartland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you guys don't have anything else for me, we're going to get off, and I will see you all next week.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great week.
The same to
Okay?
you.
Yes, Norbert.